Oh, Lord.
What's up, people? This is your boy, Levelhead, back with another Live and Level Gamers podcast. We've been being pretty consistent. We're coming weekly with this podcast, man. We're trying to do big things on this side of YouTube. But before we get into our topics for tonight and our questions, because we do have some questions, let me introduce that live on that Live and Level Gamers podcast, man. Introduce yourself.
It's your boy, Mr. L Live 08, coming to you again.
And we got our other partner back with us once again, so go ahead and introduce yourself as well.
What's going on, everybody? It's John Shaw.
Okay. So, yes, we back with another Live and Level Gamers podcast. We got a lot set for you this podcast. Mr. T will be jumping in here a little bit later. We might even get our boy K-Bum if he gets freed up. He's got a lot going on Thursdays now, so until he gets that situated, he's going to be out of pocket with the podcast. We got some viewers. If you haven't got your questions in, you better get your questions in before the end of this podcast, or you won't get your questions answered. We got a few already, so we're not looking to answer a whole bunch of questions, so we got about 7 to 8 right now. We're probably looking for like 4 or 5 more, and that's about it. But anyway, with that being said, let's start off like we always do, what you gaming on. So I'm going to start with my boy Live. Live, what you been gaming on, man?
Man, pretty much, I ain't picked the controller up this week. I've basically been watching this. It's not a new network, but I just found it on the Play Store. It's called 120 Sports. So I've been looking at them and getting away from ESPN a little bit. Just doing getting something different. And but basically I ain't touched my controller this week. I really haven't touched it this week, and I've been looking at Gamescom too. So that's pretty much it. I've been watching Gamescom and looking at YouTube, and like I said, watching that 120 Sports. They're real good. They're real good. They get real good information, and it's basically like they're talking, and like you can look. It's interact like with the TV. Like you can have the TV, and like say for instance, if they're talking about Tom Brady, Tom Brady stats and all the news will pop up on your phone. And I was like, man, I was like, man, this is different. I like this, And you could go to the stores while you listening to it, on the television, and you can go to the story, on your phone, if you want to find out about the Deflategate or whatever, that's happening, and stuff like that. Or you want to find out about his stats, everything is on there. If you want to see the tweets or anything that, they tweeting about, it's on there. So I was like, that's different. ESPN ain't thought of that.
Okay, that's what's up. So, John, what you been gaming on, man?
Yeah, I've been gaming on a little bit of everything. On Xbox One, playing some Live and playing some Killer Instinct. Testing out that Battletoad dude, Rash on the Killer Instinct. On the PlayStation,
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, on PlayStation, I been playing the car. Popped in Advanced Warfare game and playing that a little bit. What was I playing the other day? Popped in The Last of Us again. Started playing that again a little bit.
Okay.
And then that's basically it. I played some other stuff. I can't remember what it was. But
yeah, I gotta do that. Who was that? That's with the Battletoads. Which character is that?
Rash.
I seen it. That you can down or play with the character for us a little bit. So I need to go and do that. Probably do that when we get off tonight, just to check them out. As far as me, man, I tried out the August update for Splatoon the other day. So all the features that were talked about at the, Nintendo was talking about that was coming in August, we got them yesterday. So I haven't gotten a chance to check out every aspect of all the updates, like, playing with your friends and friend matches, creating a pretty much a crew of 4, or in some cases you can go 2 against 4 or 1 against 3 if I'm not mistaken. You just spawn more quickly than the other characters, depending on however you set up the match. But they got a whole bunch of different things that are added to Splatoon, so that's what I've been playing here lately. And I did jump on that Batman, but and I passed a few spots on that. But talking to John, ended up finding out that I still got some more to encounter with stuff with these tanks, so I took another break. So, but yeah, that's what I've been doing. So. Outside of that, it's been pretty much like live watching, but I've been watching ESPN. So, but with that being said, man, this is our latest podcast. We got a few topics set up for you guys. Of course, Gamescom was this week over in Germany. We're not going to really deal with everything that was shown at Gamescom. We're just going to deal with Microsoft, since they were the actual only company of the big 3 that was actually there. So we're gonna deal with some of the stuff they showed, and we definitely gonna talk about this whole cloud gaming, the fact that with Crackdown and the destructible environments, how the cloud allows you to destroy and break anything in the game, and the physics. If y'all saw that demonstration, it was pretty cool. We're going to talk about Splatoon and the fact that has already sold 1.6 million. And we got a few other things we got on here. So, but before we get there, me and Live and John has a new thing we're about to kick off called Showdown. And I'm going to let my boy John explain how this works, and anybody that wants to have a showdown with the Live and Level Gamers podcast crew, you are welcome to come on. So, John, let them know what we're going to be doing with that, man.
So it's basically like you said, like anybody that has a difference of opinion or wants to debate us on something, you have an opportunity to come on the show and voice your opinion or voice your side of the argument.
Right. So it won't be no 2-3 hour long debating back and forth. It's going to be a 40-minute show where you get to state what you disagree with. Like, and we had a situation with Dr. Feelgood. He didn't agree with something my boy John said. John, kind of tell him about that, and that's kind of where we got the idea from. Kind of tell him about that.
Well, he was on this conversation and basically saying that Nintendo didn't need third parties and all that, and they could sustain themselves without third parties. And while they have a lot of first party games and first party IPs, they don't have enough studios to produce those IPs in enough time to where they can sustain themselves on a competitive level. As if that was the case, we wouldn't be in the position we are in right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know
so basically and it ain't just him who has done this, but after seeing that one, I had the thought, and me and John got to talking like, man, maybe we need to open up the opportunity for some of these guys to come on and sit down with us, state their case, and then we'll go let John and myself, and Live and K-Bum chime in where we can and talk it out for a good 40 minutes and call it the showdown, man. It's going to be respectful. If you get out of line, you will get muted. So that's how it's going to be. So if you're interested, if you hear something in this podcast or the next one we do and you didn't like or you didn't agree or you didn't quite feel like we explained it well, hit us up in the comment section. Let us know that, hey, you would like to have a showdown with us, and we will consider you. We will look at what you do. Hopefully you got videos. One of the things we would like to kind of hear how you operate and how you go about doing what you do before we bring you on here, because we do have a set way of how we do things. We try to keep things clean. We ain't always PC, but we try to keep things pretty not PC but PG. But we try to stay around that mark with how we operate in this podcast. But if you can't do that, don't think we finna bring you on there. You lose your cool and get to flim-flamming, you just gonna flim-flam to a mute. And it just be me live and John and K-Bum talking for the next 30 minutes. So anyway, if you're down, let us know, all right? So anyway, let's get into it, man. Gamescom. Live. Gamescom. I want to talk about these two games first, then I want to get to Crackdown because I was really impressed with what I saw with Crackdown. But the first game that I was looking to, this was the biggest game I was looking to see, and that was Quantum Break. And they showed some new footage of Quantum Break. And starting with live, man, if you got an opportunity, first of all, did you get an opportunity to see Gamescom?
Yes, I did.
Okay, let's get all our verdicts on Gamescom as far as what Microsoft saw. Give your level as far as, you know, what grade would you give it? Would you give it an A, B, C? What would you give it?
I think Microsoft did a good job of, you know, explaining what they said they was going to show at Gamescom, which was, you know, first party games and some new accessories and some new features for the Xbox One that's, you know, that's going to make it, you know, the reason why you want to go out and spend $349, you know, on that system versus if you want to go out and spend $400 on the PS4, you know, with the new DVR feature, which should have been on there since day one, but hey, it'll be there next year. Basically, you can record your television shows on your Xbox now. You don't basically need a DVR, you know, in your home. If you don't have one, you can use your Xbox now.
Now, didn't they say you had to buy an external hard drive for that though?
I didn't hear that.
I heard that today. I saw something where they were saying, yes, you can do that, but you got to have an external hard drive to save it on. I don't know if you can save it directly on the Xbox hard drive. That's just what I heard. I'm not for sure on that. I just wanted to throw that in there. But go ahead.
I didn't hear that during the conference, during them saying, you know, saying that. I just heard, you know, them, you know, talking about the feature, you know, and everything like that. But you know, they came out with the new keyboard pad for the, you know, for the Xbox One controller, which I think, you know, that helps, you know, basically when that Windows 10 update, you know, comes down in November, you know, it's basically, you know, that Xbox One is a computer now. So you're gonna need something, you know, to type on, you know. So if you don't have the Connect, you know, the best thing, you know, the use is, you know, that keypad, you know. Okay. So and like you said, I don't know if you ain't want to talk about Crackdown right now, do you?
No, we ain't gonna do that right now. We're just giving our grades and what we thought about the press conference that they had at Gamescom. So
I'll just touch on it. I'll just touch on it, you know, a little bit, you know, with the cloud gaming and, you know, some other features. I would give, just for Gamescom, I would give Microsoft an A because the presentation was clean, it was cut, it wasn't boring, it wasn't, you know, a whole lot of, you know, propaganda and, you know, we talking about our numbers and stuff like that. No, it wasn't about that. It was about, you know, the games was coming, you know, this year was coming, you know, the early part of 2016, you know, and that was that, you know. Okay. So that, you know, that was my take from the Microsoft side.
Okay. John, what you know, jump in there, man. Let us know what you thought. Give it your grade and kind of a quick synopsis of, you know, everything that you took in from Microsoft's press conference at Gamescom.
Man, I give them a A++.
Oh, okay.
Cause I feel like they did exactly everything that they said. When they said at E3, they said this is what we're gonna do at Gamescom. Bam, they did it. Not only did they do that, they showed how they're taking their whole company and what they're going to do with their whole product and what they're doing with it for the next few months and on to the next year. They gave us the new content, so including the content that we saw at E3, now we have the content that we got for the next coming months after January.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got that. So basically, you have what's coming on for at least till this next summer. So you know what's coming to this next summer. Then they also added new features like the new dashboard update is coming. Added the chat pad stuff, so now you can type in your websites, or if you want if you still text chat with your friends, you still do that with the type pad. I just feel like they hit the money on the button. Also with the Windows 10, all the features that if you have a Windows 10 capable device, all the different things you can do with that.
Mm.
I feel like they just knocked it out the park.
Okay.
So as far as if you wanted to buckle down to one brand, they're showing you why Microsoft would be their brand.
All right. So basically, go ahead, Live. Would you say something?
I'm gonna tell you what what really got me on Gamescom. But I don't wanna deter from Microsoft. But when EA had their conference and they was talking about The Sims 4, and then all of a sudden the lady was like, "Let's have a party," and the people just came out of nowhere, and the music was blasting, and they was dancing on stage and all over the thing. I was like, what is EA doing? The conference was straight, but then it just went left when they did that, and I was like, what in the world is they doing?
Man.
Oh.
Well, I'm gonna have to be real, man. I totally forgot about Gamescom on the first day. I think it was was it the 4th? I think it was the 4th. And by the time it dawned on me, the press conference for Microsoft was already over. So I didn't actually get a chance to see the press conference itself. But if I was to base my grade off of what I've seen from the stuff that uploaded on Microsoft YouTube channel, I would have to at least give it a B. I like the fact that they actually showed, it was almost like they had all new games. When we just had E3 2 months ago, all of a sudden we got all these new games. We got Crackdown, we got Spellbound, we got Quantum Break. They announced another Halo that out of the blue, another Halo. Then they had a few other games that they announced. So from that angle, I would say that it had to be, I give it a B just from that. But not watching it myself, I couldn't actually grade the conference itself. But I did catch some of their other live shows, and I'll also give that about a B, as well. So overall, looking at what they done and getting the feedback that I heard, I didn't really hear any negative things, even from some strong Sony and Nintendo fans that I listen, channels I watch and people I follow. I heard a few negatives, but it was, some people can't, and we're gonna deal with that. You know what I'm saying? The fanboy hate is getting a little too far. But outside of a few here and there, it was pretty much a unanimous, praise. So that's all I can really go off of as far as the press conference. But with that being said, Live, what game stood out to you the most with Microsoft's press conference outside of Crackdown? If Crackdown is the game that stood out, then just say Crackdown and we'll move on. Or name the one next to that game that stood out to you.
The game that stood out to me was Quantum Break.
Okay.
That's the game that stood out to me. It reminded me of Remember Me, but with more of time watch, more of Doctor Who aspects to it.
Okay.
Because how he can, stop time, manipulate time, whether he can go, forward or back in time, he can look at things before it happens. I was just looking at the actual gameplay, of it. Microsoft got something on their hands, and I hope they take their time with this game. I hope they don't rush it because they're trying to get the television show to coincide, with the video game, all at the same time. I hope they don't do that. I hope, they take their time because I think they have something if they just take their time and work on it.
Right.
That could be a 2017 game. It ain't got to be a 2016 game. People will wait on the game, but it's got to be good and it's got to have good content too. And I think that's one of the games that needs to take advantage of the cloud gaming too.
Okay. I think it already got. If I'm not mistaken, the release date is scheduled for next year in April. I don't know if that's the show or if that was the show and the game or if that was just a game. So if you know, give me some clarity on that because I'm not for sure. Was that the release? And if John, if you know what I'm saying, you could jump in on that too.
I forgot. I know it's sometime this coming year.
Next year?
Yeah, sometime.
Okay, because I saw an April something date on the video, but I wasn't for sure if that had to do with the actual TV show or was that the game. So I want to say that was the game, but anyway, John, let me say this live. Was you finished, or did you have any more you wanted to say on that?
Yeah, I'm straight with it.
Okay, John, man, what game stood out to you far as Microsoft's press conference, and then we would go to like Gamescom in general, and then we'd go into this Crackdown.
Well, I was there to see Quantum Break. That's what I wanted to see.
Okay, everybody pretty much on the same page then.
I want to see Quantum Break, and I'm glad they showed it. I'm glad the TV show's still going on. And yeah, that's what I can see. But I have to say that I wasn't looking at Crackdown. I wasn't even looking at it. I wasn't paying no attention to it. They kind of caught my attention on that one.
Right. We're gonna get to Crackdown. So what stood out to you? Like, we've been looking at this Quantum Break. This was one of the big announcements that Microsoft made, and we got Mr. T in the house. What's up, Mr. T?
Hey, folks. How y'all doing?
Now, well, since you're here, let's go ahead and get you up to speed. First, what you been gaming on, bro?
I've been playing a lot of Splatoon.
Okay, so you've been hitting up that new update as well, I see.
Yep, and a lot of 3DS, actually. I've been getting back to my 3DS games. I've been playing, started Luigi's Mansion all over again. That game is stellar if you haven't played.
Yeah, I gotta get to see. I don't, we talk about all the time. The handhelds ain't my thing, but I do want to play that game because I was a big Luigi Mansion fan on the GameCube. So.
Yeah. And this one is a console game. This game probably should have been on Wii U, man. It's really good. I've been actually playing some Wii games too. Been getting back to some more Wii games that I haven't finished because I still got a backlog that goes back to Wii. And on the Xbox, I just got Rare Replay, so I've been playing that. Playing some of those rare games.
You got the Rare Replay?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta get it.
Is Killer Instinct still good, man?
It hasn't aged well. That Killer Instinct Gold, I would say.
Yeah.
Hasn't really aged all that well. Because they didn't do anything graphical thing to it. It's a port. It's a straight port of the N64 game. Okay. It looks like anyway. And most of them are straight ports. Some of them, like the Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and Perfect Dark, they've been up-resed. They did that for Xbox Live, actually, for Xbox 360. So those are the versions you're getting for those. So.
See, I'll buy strictly for them two, especially the Banjo-Kazooies and Tooie. But
the thing for me, anyway, is the controller. Like, I'm so used to the N64 controller, and those games were made for the N64 controller. So to me, it doesn't feel as intuitive.
Okay.
But if you haven't played it in forever, like I played it recently on N64, and you just go back to it, it probably won't bother you as much as it bothers me. But
all right, that's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, let me bring you up to speed, man. We right now we on Gamescom and we giving our verdicts. I'm gonna jump back with John, and then I'll bring it back around to you, Mr. T. So John, go ahead and finish what you were saying, man. If you remember where we were.
No, I don't remember.
Quite, we was talking about Quantum Break. What stood out to you about the game?
Oh, it's just I just like the whole time thing. I think I haven't seen a game like that since what was that thing on game on? It was on PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2.
Oh, I can't remember the thing. I hate when that stuff happens.
Was it like you talking about Max Payne or?
No, it's because it went deeper. It's like it was actually you dealt with time. You froze time and all this stuff.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I forget, but it's like I'm just interested in that and how that's gonna play into the different gameplay mechanics and stuff like that. As far as what I'm seeing I like it, but I have to touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Mr. T, first of all, I'll give you all the opportunities to answer the same questions live, and John did. Did you get a chance to check out Gamescom? Have you been keeping up with what's going on with Gamescom?
Yeah. All I saw from Gamescom was Microsoft's conference. I saw the whole thing.
That's pretty much what we on anyway.
Yeah.
Give me your verdict. What did you think about Microsoft's press conference? Give me grade from A, B, C, whatever, and then what game stood out to you outside of Crackdown? Because we're gonna talk about Crackdown and this cloud stuff.
Stood out to me. I guess I would have to say Scalebound.
I knew it.
And obviously Scalebound had some technical issues. The frame rate has some issues. I was expecting to be more blown away by it, and I wasn't. I will have to say. Again, maybe that had something to do with the presentation, because it had issues, and watching it, I just couldn't get over seeing the choppy frame rate when I was watching it. So maybe that was a part of it. I like the aspect of having the dinosaur, the dragon, and being able to control it and have it fight other large monsters, and I love the Monster Hunter aspect of it, where you can team up with 3 other people. Is that right? 3 other people?
Yeah, 3 or 4. It didn't really give us a number how many you can do, but they did show that towards the end.
Yeah, so I definitely like that aspect of it. But we didn't really get a ton of gameplay and what was really going on, what you can do, what the game's about. It seems like an action RPG. In the vein of like Monster Hunter meets, something more actiony.
Okay.
But I was just wanted. Maybe I was too hyped for it, and it just didn't meet my hype. I don't know. But I mean, it's Platinum. I think it's gonna be a great game at the end of the day. So that's the one though.
Okay, so what would you get a grade of the press conference as a whole, like Microsoft stage show, the press conference?
I had to give it, for me, an average grade, an average C, because nothing really blew me away.
Okay, all right. As far as me, what stood out to me, of course, I've been waiting to see Quantum Break. That's the game that I bought the Xbox One for. So Quantum Break delivered for me. It's like what John said. It's all I need to do is play it, and like what Live said, hopefully they're not rushing it, which they've been working on this game for a while now, so it ain't so they can come out next year. I don't see them having to push it back to 2017. I hope they don't. But at the same time, like Live said, this is one of them games where if they do it right, they got a good franchise on their hands. So if the movie, hopefully the TV show doesn't detract or take away from the focus of the game. They're putting all the meat and the goodies in the game to make the game great, and not trying to do 2 things and neither one of them be great. They just be okay or average. I'm hoping that the game really impresses. But to jump on what Mr. T was talking about, Scalebound was it. I won't front. It impressed me, but at the same time, it wasn't impressive. I like the whole dragons and big beasts and monsters and all that, but and this is one of the questions, so I don't want to go into it too much because I want to have an opportunity to answer the guys' questions in the question section. But I don't know how much I'm feeling on the RPG part. The frame rates didn't help. I thought the frame rates really. I didn't know what I was. Honestly, I didn't know it was the frame rates. I was like, what is it about this game that looked like it's just jarring and jittery? And then I thought about it, was like it was the frame rate. So that and but outside of that, everything pretty else I kind of like. So I'm gonna leave it in the place of hopeful, keeping an eye out for it. But it ain't gonna make me cry or hurt my feelings if it don't succeed. I mean, that's how I feel about it. But Platinum Games is pretty good, so I think they'd be all right. So
Can I say this? Can I say this? All you Microsoft fans that sat there on Facebook, and you know who you are, sat there on Facebook and said that Scalebound was better looking than Horizon of Dawn, you smoking dope.
Yeah, you lying. You lying.
That's lying.
You are smoking dope.
They said that?
Yeah, I think they still did.
Yeah.
Yes, the Microsoft fans. They was like, oh, Scalebound looks way better than Horizon. What are you looking at?
No.
You
Stop.
You could not tell when you looked at Horizon, you couldn't tell if it was gameplay or it was in-game video. Exactly. You couldn't tell when it switched out.
True.
But that is the thing, though. We still don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That frame rate really. Well, I think the frame rate, and I did not like how the character was running. Like I don't know if y'all noticed how.
I was gonna say, yeah, his running animation was like weird.
Yeah, it was bad. It looked like he stepped back into like the PlayStation 2. Yeah. Like he was just robotic, like no life to him.
I was gonna say Metal Gear Solid Snake looking running.
Yeah, so but this is Platinum Games, so like I said, I hold out judgment, but live, I'm with you. If they get everything right, there's a possibility that it can rival, but based off what we saw, we cannot say that it'll look better than the Horizon game, in my opinion.
Can I also say this real quick though about Kamiya? Like, if he truly was popping shots off about Microsoft before, close your mouth, man. After what we just saw, like, you had to come with a better game to be upset about anything that Microsoft is doing or not doing, and you didn't really represent. And like again, I know the game's going to be good. I know it's going to be better when it's done. But for what you have right now, you can't be complaining about Microsoft not presenting the game well or whatever he was saying, because you didn't present it well yet. So
right now, who was this?
Kamiya, the Platinum Games.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I don't care for about him. I got him. I don't care for dude. I don't like how he operate on Twitter either. Old chump. Forget him, man. Anyway, so let's keep this thing moving, man. We don't want to spend too much on Gamescom. Let's jump into this Crackdown, man. Now, let me state my thoughts. To me, as much as I came to see Quantum Break, Crackdown stole the show for me. I'm not gonna front. Crackdown, and I might sound hypocritical because I never cared for Crackdown. Never. The first time I saw it, it was like, but I don't want to play it. Good. Grand Theft Auto on steroids, I'm good. Then the second one came out, I was still good. This one, wasn't expecting to be caring about it. But after watching that, I was impressed, man. Definitely impressed. Definitely caught my eye. Caught me off guard. Wasn't expecting that. And then when they started showing the destruction and the fact that the physics and you could destroy a building and that building destroyed the building beside it, and it had no pre-arranged destruction method to it. It fell according to how you shot it, where you shot it at. That's how it broke up. The question I have, and I jump to John first, is the cloud real, or are we still being bamboozled? Cause I'm thinking I'm falling for the bamboozling if it ain't. So go ahead, John.
Yeah, it's real. It's really real out here. No, but no, it's a lot of things that they can do with the cloud, and if like it's basically what they were trying to do, but we kind of attacked them at the beginning when they came out with the system when they're trying to do always online. So it makes me think like, what else were they trying to do if they would actually had the always online system that they wanted to have? You know what I'm saying? If they did it how they wanted to do, what kind of improvements could we have in the gameplay and things like that?
Okay.
So with the there's a couple of limitations there. I think it's like because also lag comes into play and stuff like that, and server outages and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this is just the tip of the iceberg. Was this about the start of something like what they're gonna do with like just that Crackdown demo that was tight, but I just picture myself in an actual military shooter like that.
Okay, so the game that they're displaying it in might not be the game you really want to do that in, but you kind of taking what they showing and placing it on a different type of game, basically.
Picture Battlefield like that, where actually everything is destructible like it should be.
I got you.
It's like that type of stuff is like that's what I'm waiting for. And
now let me throw this in there. I don't know if y'all know. I think they had two. Didn't they have two computers running together when they was doing this, or was this? If I'm wrong on this, y'all correct me. But I was listening to something, and supposedly, I don't know if it was Xbox One, but it's ran off of basically the how that peer-to-peer or whatever they do that, the servers. They had two powerful servers running to demonstrate that game. So I don't know how, like John was saying, I don't know how that's gonna happen. And like when me, Mr. T, John, and Live playing it, will it still operate the same play? Like will we get the same effects that they were showing, or would there be some delay and errors based on the servers that we're using? So what you think about that, John?
That's where we're gonna have to see, because like at the time of the show, it's showing that's like it's a controlled environment.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right.
The real test is gonna be when we get online and see if all it works out how it's supposed to be. Because we're seeing a lot of games that on stage it works out right, but then when it comes out it don't be like that.
Okay, Live, what you think, man? Are you tricked? Did your eyes will you into the deception, or is this real?
Well, I told you last podcast, Crackdown was the game, like that. Now you see for yourself. But even without the destructive environments, that game is still gonna be good, just because of the simple fact, you can do so much stuff in game in Crackdown. I don't know if you played Crackdown 1 or Crackdown.
I haven't never played it, so that's why I said I might be being a little hypocritical. But no, I haven't played it.
Yeah, you could have done so much stuff in there, like you are a superhero. And now basically, with the added portion with the cloud, what can you really do now with this game? Okay, you got destructive environments. How about smarter criminals? Your game is turned off, but the world is still growing. You still got crimes going on. You still got people, making syndicates, and stuff like that. Better weapons, better vehicles, all that and more, with the cloud gaming, you get like Nintendo used to say, now you playing with power, with Microsoft, now you're playing with power, and that's what that cloud, that cloud gaming does. If you remember, back in the day with Sega, and you hooking the Turbo 16, up to it, it made it, more powerful.
Right.
So that's what that cloud gaming does. That cloud gaming makes the Xbox One a little bit more powerful. It doesn't put the stress on, the CPU and the GPU to handle, those tasks. It uses the cloud, and you can use it, basically the way how you want to. But the thing is, are third-party developers gonna really take advantage of that? And if they do, is there gonna be a spike, in the price? Instead of paying $60 for the game, with the cloud, it might be $100.
Yeah, I ain't think about that. Let me say this, and I'm gonna let Mr. T jump in here. Well, I heard another take on this when people doubt it, and I don't know how to take it. I don't know where to stand on it. I know I was thoroughly impressed with Crackdown and what they demonstrated, and if they can do that, that is, I ain't gonna say it is kind of a game changer. But one of the persons was saying that this is a software company. Microsoft are the leading software developers, so if anybody would know how to pull this off, they would most likely know how to pull it off, just like Nintendo are the best game makers. If anybody can pull it off, it's Nintendo. So I don't know, hopefully, but Mr. T jump, or did you want to say something, John?
Oh, my bad. I forgot. I had
Oh, okay. Mr. T, go ahead and jump on that, man. What, did it get you, or are you still skeptic?
I think the cloud is real. Like
Okay.
I always thought it was real, but the problem is American infrastructure is also real. Like we ain't ready for it, for the most part. I think one of the reasons that people were up in arms about Xbox One in the beginning, with the always online stuff, was the fact that a lot of people online is trash. Like
Right.
that is the problem. So if your online is good and somebody else isn't, it's going to affect your overall game. So that's going to be the main problem with the cloud. Like I always believed it would work, but it just has to be a perfect situation for you to get everything out of that experience. I think so. Everybody has to be on a really good connection, and that's going to be what hinders it. I think in the long run.
Yeah.
And I'm with John. It's as much as I don't like the quote-unquote anti-consumer practices that DRM brought and all that stuff, I still was interested in seeing what they were going to do with Xbox One when they had all that stuff. That because me as a gamer, like I'm intrigued not by like visual technology, what you can get graphically and all that stuff, because that stuff gets to a head at some point. I like to see like the change in the technology that affect the games and the gameplay. And I think the cloud could be one of those things that affect games and gameplay. Obviously, we saw some of that in Crackdown. So that's what I look for. So I'm always like, even the HoloLens stuff, I'm like, that's cool. I want to see more of that. So.
All right. So go ahead, John.
So like, picture this, right? Have you guys, any of you got a chance to play it with the PlayStations now when they had the little trial thing? Did you get a chance to play with it?
I don't have
PlayStation Now.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, I didn't. I never got a chance to try that out. No.
All right, no, that's it. My problem with the service is their price. You know what I'm saying? With the idea of what they're trying to do, because it's basically, I was on board with that back when it was On Live was going on. It said On Live was just ahead of its time, and the network wasn't ready for that type of stuff yet. I think the networks are better now as far as going, more gigabyte internets are coming in and stuff. But just picture being able to play a high-end PC game, but not have to have that high-end PC. You hear what I'm saying?
Right.
Because all the computing will be done on that end. You're just basically the video part. You know what I'm saying? If you understand what I'm saying, it's like and I think that's in the future of games. I think that's where they're going to go. That's where they're trying to go to. I know, because I know they're hinting at that.
Yeah.
They're throwing little subtle hints at that. And that's what they're trying to go to. So where that basically, all you gotta do is buy a device that connects to the internet, and then you can play all type of games that you want to play. Granted, it'll be in their control. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But that's the type of thing I see. I envision a console coming like that, pretty soon. Because I mean, On Live had it, and I liked On Live, and On Live the whole structure. If anybody got a chance to play with that, because they was giving away consoles for free. It was actually cool. It's like you could play the game, right? You hit the game, you play the game. It was all done on their servers, and so basically, if you came on, you could watch me play the game at any given time. You come in, watch me play the game, and come out. You know what I'm saying? You sit there and chat with me on the stuff, and all this stuff was based on this little bitty tiny little box that I had. You know what I'm saying? It's not there wasn't a big processing power, nothing like that. All this big computing stuff was done on there. It was ahead of their time. Guy copied On Live, and then they got in their little big legal dispute. And during that legal dispute, that's when Sony bought it.
Okay, I got you.
And, but everybody was dissing On Live and never gave it a chance. You know what I'm saying? But but a lot of the things, that little features that we see in the consoles and Xbox and PS4 right now came from On Live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Being able to jump like the Twitch stuff and all that, being able to go jump in and look at that stuff while somebody's playing the game, that came from that.
Yeah, I remember that whole setup where it was pretty much it was streaming, but it was all done. You didn't have to have no system or anything like that. Now
back then, we didn't have that good internet. You know what I'm saying? Because like right now, I got that Google Fiber, so I'm all good. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me ask this, man. Then we was talking about this before the podcast started, and I want to ask this question. Is that whole cloud stuff with Crackdown only for online, or is it for the, because John, you said something about that long as you're online, that destruction stuff can also happen in the single player as well.
Yeah, if you're connected online.
As long as you collect also it was used. Okay.
Let me go make sure I've read that right. So I think as long as you're connected online, you can still have the 100% destruction. If you're not, then you don't get the 100% destruction.
Okay, because some are saying that was only on multiplayer, but I'm wondering if it's for multiplayer. Then if you stay online, I'm trying to figure. I would think that it would.
You know what? No, I take that back. I might be wrong about that because I know online is you're supposed to be in a whole different city. Than what you are. Yeah, online you're in a whole different city than what you are in the single player.
Okay, so it is just for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, just wanted to make sure that we was on that right. So let's move on, man. Splatoon sales have already passed 1.6 million sold. That's pretty darn good for especially for a game that's only selling on Nintendo. Mr. T, what's your thoughts on that, man? Is this game really taking the gaming world by storm? Is it pretty much solidifying itself as the next big thing for Nintendo? Mr. T? He might be on pause. Well, Live, go and answer that question.
I mean, pretty much, Splatoon sold 1.6 million. I said back in the podcast a couple times ago, Splatoon was going to be a big seller, and it could have sold more if Nintendo would have marketed on that Nickelodeon awards. If they would have did that, it would have sold buku more. But I mean, 1.6, that is still outstanding. That is still outstanding, and it's helping. It's helping push units. With the Wii U. I gotta disagree with Richard Review Tech. He came out and he said, the Wii U, just hit 10 million, and it's the sorriest selling console, far as in Nintendo history. Which, Rich, you are correct. As of right now, you are correct. But the thing is, Rich, Nintendo is still turning a profit. You got to understand something. The Wii U makes a profit. The Xbox One and the PS4, they struggling to make a profit. But the Wii U has been making a profit. So, I got to give it to Nintendo. Sometimes it's not about how much you sell, but it's the quality of games that you put out and you have, for the system. That's, sometimes that's what it's about. Nintendo could have folded up shop a long time ago. Nintendo could have thrown the Wii U to the wayside. They could have folded up shop a long time ago and been like, let's forget it. Let's, we don't need to worry about making quality games for the system. We can just, half butt do it. We can just half butt do it, half butt, put games on the system and sell it. But no, they didn't do that. Splatoon is a game that is different. It's exciting. It's entertaining. Like I said, I have played Splatoon probably 2 times. I played it 2 times. Every time when I go with my friend's house, and he constantly plays it all the time. He's always on Splatoon, and especially with the new update with that bucket. Oh my Lord, I ain't never seen a bucket throw.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, the splasher. I think that's what it's called.
I think that's what it is.
I think it's called the splasher, and I ain't never seen a bucket throw paint that far. But like I said,
it's so OP, man. I was playing it last night. I don't care what you got. If you come across one of them dudes with a bucket, man, you good as dead. You ain't gonna. There's nothing you can do with it, man, because they throwing so much paint. As soon as they hit you, you pretty much done.
Yeah,
so.
and see, and the thing that I hope Nintendo would do with the next update is add voice chat. If they add voice chat, it's over.
Yeah, they need to do it. Let's not get in there because we're going to talk about these updates. And so, Mr. T,
yeah.
Go ahead, what you think about the Splatoon selling 1.6 million, man?
I said in the beginning, before the game came out, that I think it was going to surprise a lot of people as far as the sales of it, and I think it has. It has surprised people. It surprised me a little bit. I thought it would be successful based on my playtime with it at PAX East, but I had no idea it would sell this much this soon. And
I think Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo knew it was gonna sell like that.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
Because I think this game, like John was saying last podcast, and John, you could jump in here. This could have been, that pivot for the Wii U.
Yeah.
This could actually, now that I'm looking at this game, and like Lyle said, if they were to add voice chat, because the game, go ahead and jump on this, John. But what you think about this 1.6 mil?
If they add voice chat, they could add +1 to that.
That's what we know, Joe. I know you.
They could add +1 to that. But no, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. So
go
with
Mario
that
Maker.
Go with that thought.
I felt strategically in the game that it didn't need it, but I always said that they should have put it in anyway for the social aspect of it, So they definitely, I think Nintendo was maybe thinking too strategically, and maybe it had something to do with bandwidth too. I mean,
that's what I think it is, Mr. T. I was watching something, and what was I watching? Where they said they had to pick between this or that because the bandwidth wouldn't allow both.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what game they was talking about. I don't know if it was another game dealing with the whole. No, it was Devil's Third.
It was Devil's Third. I was gonna say it was Devil's
Third. He said that we either could have had voice chat, or was it 8 players or 16 player online?
Yeah.
So he went with the 16 players, which I would have went with voice chat, but.
But we all know even Devil's Third doesn't look as good as Splatoon.
Right.
So, if that game was struggling with voice chat.
So the whole time it was basically it wasn't that. I think the developers knew, hindsight, we didn't know this before, but hindsight, maybe it does put too much stress on the system, which I didn't want to believe that, but you got to now, because Nintendo ain't never done it, so that maybe they just didn't want to say that, so they came up with a lame excuse.
Yeah.
to not say that, hey, the system ain't powerful enough to do it.
I don't believe the system's not too powerful enough to do that because.
No, I don't think it's the power of the system. I think the bandwidth has to do with
That's what I mean.
servers, right?
Because both Call of Duties came out voice chat, no problem.
Yeah.
Well,
Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate has voice chat full.
Yeah.
So what is it then, man?
That's why I want to know because that's why I'm like I'm not understanding. We're 2015. What's going on?
But maybe it's the mechanics of the game. No, that can't be it either because it's like you said, Call of Duty.
I'm confused. But anyway, so we think the 106 million is good.
Yeah,
what you think about these Mr. T live? Whoever want to go first? John.
Go first since I don't got it.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I wasn't gonna throw you out there, and I know you haven't gotten a chance to check it out. But
I think that it's good that they came out with all these updates.
Okay.
I don't like how they did the little levels of each level a month thing. I don't like how they did that. But I like how they came out with this big update right now, though.
Okay.
I like that. I don't know, but
that's fine.
To some point, I think it should have been in the game at first, but
technically it was.
That's what you know what, Mr. T?
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was. I forgot who I was listening to, and it's like, I think it was Red Knight. I'm not for sure, but they said, they finally released what was already on the disc, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You mean they've been milking out what's already there?
Not all of it, but some of it was definitely on disc.
Okay. But what you think about these updates, man? Me and Live are just talking about what was that Live? The bucket, the
Splasher.
The Splasher. Is that what it's called?
When you the bucket paint.
Yeah. You think that's OP, man? You think it's too powerful?
Well, every time I think that somebody has a way to beat that, like because the bucket, what's the range on that?
It got some range, bro.
Got range too?
Yeah, it got range.
Got range and power, so.
Yeah, you can stand behind the object and throw over the object, and you can kill somebody with it.
Killing everything that get under that paint, man. If you under that paint,
the problem is speed. I'm guessing.
Well, you don't get as many, the recoil or the.
And it takes a lot of ink, I'm sure.
And it takes a lot of ink, but it's enough. You throw. It's only like once if you right in the vicinity of where this dude is, it's wide enough and it's enough paint coming at you that you dead if you don't get away from him. And by the time you get to another location, you ain't really good. He just gonna hit you again with more paint, so you ain't really got no time but to move out his way and get behind him. I ain't got that good on it yet. I'm decent.
See, that's where that voice chat come in, and you call your boys come up and flank them. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, I feel you. I agree. I mean,
but everybody up in here, if you want to, the voice chat thing is a problem going forward for people that are not us. We have ways around. Like I can use voice chat using what we're doing right now.
Right.
But for the people who can't do that, or who have don't know about it or whatever,
right,
they're at a disadvantage for sure. So
I would say this on the voice chat, man, and I said this on I don't know if I said this on other podcasts. I know I said it with Live and Level. Me and my cousin from Dallas were playing the game, and this was before the updates. And I got to call him, man, and see if we can get on so we can actually stay on the same team. But we was just mauling through this team, man. we were just demolishing, but we were talking on the phone. Yeah. And we wasn't as good as we were when we were talking. Like when we and him was talking, I knew where he was. He'd tell me, man, come around here, and I'd come. We was just mauling through him. But before we were just playing via, the Wii U.
Yeah.
And that was basically it. And we wasn't doing as well as we were when we were strategizing and laughing with each other going through it. We were just mauling down, dude. I got like 14. That's been about my highest score, about 1,400 points. But I've been seeing cats for 25. I'm like 25,100. I'm like, how y'all getting that? But the update to me is very good. Hopefully they continue with adding even more to this game, because I think Nintendo hit something that they wasn't even expecting, bro. Real talk. I think this might rival the Marios and Karts and the Smash Bros. I really do.
I think the way they delivered the game was part of them, experimenting with new ways to deliver games. Nintendo's been talking about that for a couple of years now. How they're going to be experimenting, trying different things to see what works. And I think part of the reason that they released Splatoon the way they did, maybe not so much the weapons, but maybe the maps and modes and all that stuff. I think that has to do with the making sure that the infrastructure didn't collapse, because you get a lot of these games that are online focused that come out and they're broken, because there's a lot of stuff going on and it doesn't work the right way. I think Nintendo, being Nintendo, not used to this kind of stuff, was trying to roll it out in a way that the game wasn't going to be broken and the experience wasn't going to be too much for them to be able to handle.
Right, for their servers. That's basically
right.
Yeah, right. I agree.
Obviously, it totally sucks that you didn't get everything at the beginning, because obviously a lot of that stuff was ready. But I think a part of that was they didn't want the game to crash and break, and destroy the whole people's experience and whatnot. Dude, if it wasn't free, I'd have 20 videos right now about it. But
okay.
That it's free, it makes it a little easier for me. And for me, like, I got a wife and kids, career, so I'm not gonna be on the game 24/7 all day. So I'm only at level 17 right now. I haven't even.
I'm at 18.
So a lot of the stuff that was problems for some people isn't a problem for me. So it's hard for me to get upset. I don't mind people getting upset about the stuff though. So.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, man, live, you can jump in here, John, whenever you want to. We're gonna move on. But for me, like you were saying, Mr. T, I don't get a chance to play it 24/7 back to back. I got too many things pulling me. Actually, I had a situation in my family. My brother got shot. And, I wasn't for sure if I was going to even be here tonight. And but he doing good and everything. So, but yeah, he took 4, man, 3 to 4. Yeah, it was bad. But anyway, so, but things like that happening, kids, my wife, pregnant, job. What I've been getting from the game outside of voice chat, because I agree, I believe voice chat should have been there. I believe if they can pull it off, which like we thought, we don't know why they can't. If there is a problem, then okay. If there isn't, it should be there. Hopefully another update down the line, they might see fit to add it. But outside of that, I've enjoyed the game. Even with the releasing the updates gradually, even if it was on the disc, I kind of liked it. It made it fun, especially the fact that it was free, that you get off work and all 2 new weapons have been updated to the game. All the new stage added to it. I thought it was pretty cool. But at the same time, not to be hypocritical, would I have had the same view, which is leading into our next topic? Would I had the same view had this been a Sony game or a Microsoft game doing the same thing? Would I have said the same thing? And that's where I had to pause and want to question my own fairness, my own balancedness in my approach to this. We will justify it because it's our particular favorite piece of plastic or our favorite company, however you want to put it. But if another company was doing this and we was looking on from a distance, man, we'd be throwing all type of mud at that company and what they're doing and what
some of us maybe.
Some of us would, so. But with that being said, anybody got anything else they want to say about Splatoon before we move on? John, live, John.
I think the real reason why Nintendo didn't want to add voice chat to it, they didn't want you to strategize. They just wanted you to enjoy the game. I think if they would have put the voice chat in there, I think it would have took a lot away from the game.
I think that's what I was trying to say. Like, I think you hit it right on the nail. They wanted to make sure everybody had a good experience playing it, so they didn't want people, getting into these super squads, murking everybody and just destroying some kids' dreams. When they jumped on, they wanted to make sure they had fun playing, so they would come back to it. Because I've had games where I got on, I just got murked. And I just didn't touch it again because I was like, I ain't going.
But them Japanese boys on there, man, you start seeing all them letters, them signs you can't pronounce.
Right.
I know I'm gonna get ran through.
It's about to get real.
But I want to destroy their dreams, though.
I know you do.
That's so much
And
fun.
Nintendo knows you do too. That's why they try to.
That's what I said.
I think it could have been easily resolved by having, like, on Smash Bros. You got for glory and you got for fun.
Yeah.
On for glory,
Hey, they smashed
all
my
that
dreams
is-
on that.
all that is there. You want to try to really have this, like, Call of Duty serious approach. Like, dude, we about to go in, and if you can't handle this level of gameplay, stay on the for fun side. But if you really want to improve your skills and you're really about that life, come over here for this for glory, and we get it down over here. I think they could have handled it that way.
So I bought Smash Bros for the Wii U, right?
Right.
So I decided to play my son. Yeah, I don't play Smash. You know what I'm saying? So I decided to play him in it, right? He whooped my butt all night long. And you know what I said? I said, here, you earned you a $60 game. Here you go. Have fun.
Yeah, I got to get better at Smash, man. I get Bowser, man. I do a little damage, but I was playing against, I don't know if it was Player Essence or who I was playing against, man. It made me not want to touch that game no more. I was like, dude, I'm going to stay on this for fun side and play against these 5-year-olds who I can dominate, because I ain't doing no good with y'all. So, but anyway, let's move on to this next. Live, you got anything you want to say before we move on?
Hey, I just got a question for Mr. T. I got a question for him. Okay. Answer this real quick. All right. Why doesn't Nintendo want to take my money? The only thing Nintendo has to do is release a Smash Brothers bundle or bring Mario Maker bundle to the United States. But I don't think they want my money.
Well, we got that Mario Maker down in the bottom, so we can pick that up down there if you want to, Live.
That's fine.
Go ahead and answer, though. Go ahead and answer the question, though, Mr. T.
I guess as the Nintendo rep in this group, I don't know why you asked me. Well, no, seriously. I don't know. Like, you need a bundle to. Why you need a bundle? 'Cause there's nothing. That was one of my gripes. Is there's nothing special about the bundles. There's just the console, the regular black console, and the game in there. There's nothing special about it. There's no decoration like you get with the other consoles, or in what Nintendo used to do, which was this is the 30th anniversary of the NES, and why don't we have a NES themed looking Wii U?
Exactly.
That would sell, I think, pretty well. I don't know, man. Nintendo.
Well, you got 3 Nintendo reps right here. I just think one of the reps asked you a question about.
No, I was just being funny because he asked me specifically.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't tell you. I made that argument in my "Is Nintendo getting lazy?" video. So
I ain't seen it. I gotta check that one out.
it's
Exactly, but I'll ask more about when we get to the Mario Maker part.
Okay.
Mario Maker is the perfect game to make a bundle with. So I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, let's go here, and then we'll pick up on that Mario Maker. Then we got some topics outside the game that I want to hit on real quick. But this next one, man, is something that is really something that I'm getting kind of sick and tired of, and it's kind of making me. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if the cat's been noticing. I just been drawn away. You know what I'm saying? I made that video. What type of Nintendo fan are you? I made that video. Just dealing with the Nintendo fan base, but in this question, I'm talking about gaming in general. Has the fanboy hating gone too far, in y'all opinion? I'll start with John. Are we getting just a little bit out of hand? And let me set it up, man. I was, at the Gamescom, I went on Twitter, and I just started seeing cats for no reason. You could you just knew. I don't care if you're a Nintendo fan, the Sony fan, or if it was Microsoft. I know this was Microsoft's press conference, but I don't care what type of fan you are. There was much of nothing to really hate about Microsoft's press conference. There was much of nothing to hate about on the games that they showed. Pretty much nothing. but cats found stuff to just be fanboys over. And I'm like, man, I mean, yeah, okay, it might not be to your liking or to your taste, but do you have to word it that way? Do you have to be so? And that's like, it just, and I put on there, I was like, man, when we learn how to, when we learn that another system doing great does not make your system a failure, when we get that, your favorite piece of plastic or your favorite company is not failing because another company is doing great. It's just that company did it good for this month. Okay, give them they do. Do you have to? It's like if they doing good some kind of way, this means your system is doing bad. It's like this retardation just makes me. It's a lot of cats, and I be thinking cats don't really know that they do it because they do it so much. When I start noticing I was doing it, I fell back like, oh, I'm hating. I'm not being critical or balanced in my critique. I'm hating. That's all I'm doing. I'm just straight up hating. That's all it is. It ain't on my system of choice. And if I had that game on my system, I'll be playing that game. So I'm just hating. So once it got to that for me, I fell back, Mr. T, Live John. I fell back and was like, look, dude, I'm just hating. I remember having that podcast, me and Live and Hip Hop Gamer. Like, dude was just, I hate to say it, he was just hating. I'm like, dude, you just hating, man. Just say it, you know. So has the fanboy hating gone too far? John, go ahead, man. Take over. I think
I've been saying that for like the last 5 years. But, I've been sick of it for a long time. I don't know. When I grew up, like everybody keeps saying, yeah, they had that with the Sega and the Nintendo days. I would never like that. I've always had all the consoles. If I did, I might not have them all at the same time, but I always had all the consoles. I get one on my birthday, and I get another one on Christmas. You know what I'm saying? It was something like that. You know what I'm saying? But see, I was the type of, I didn't ask for Jordans and other clothes and all that stuff. Don't give me no. You give me some clothes, I'm gonna look at you like you're stupid.
But see, I remember the war. The console war been here since Sega, Nintendo. I don't remember this venom though. I don't remember it like this.
I'm about to confess. Like it wasn't. I don't think it was like that during Sega Nintendo. I think if you had a Sega and you one guy had a Nintendo, you guys were playing each other's console. You were talking a little smack,
right?
But you were still playing each other's console. For me, I will say N64, PlayStation, Sega Saturn. That was when I was hating. You might as well call it PlayStation the hate station because I did not like that console because my Nintendo was not on top that gen.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the difference. I was a kid. I was a kid then.
Right.
And these are grown as men running around here acting a fool. And John's right. For me, I think it really started with Xbox 360 versus PS3 because Sony and their fans had been on top for so long, and then 360 came out, and even with all the issues, the red ring and all that, it was pretty much dominating. It had the best multiplats out of the two, and for a while it had better exclusives, and sometimes it was because of the multiplats because some of those multiplats didn't make it to PS3 because of all the issues with PS3 early on. So all those Sony dudes were salty as hell until about 2009 when PS3 started to pick up a little bit, 2010, and so it became a war. And then this gen, when it reversed again, all those Xbox fans who were on top, now they're the media and making all these excuses to why Xbox isn't doing great, and then PS4 dudes are on top and they talking smack, and it's just like crazy.
Right.
So
okay.
Yeah.
John, finish your point and then Live jump in there. But yeah, go ahead.
So when I was growing up, we never had that. As far as the arguments went on this one, it's like we'd be like, who you think would win in the fight? You know what I'm saying? So it'd be stupid stuff like that.
Mario,
we'd be stupid stuff like that. And then we'd be like, who was better at what game? You know what I'm saying? And then we would go all unhook our consoles and go to everybody's house or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's as far as we did. So when I got to the online aspect of it, and also got into the journalism, I was like, man, what the hell? These people are retarded.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. I was like, what the hell is going on?
But I'll say this, man. I was listening to Mr. T. He said it started with the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. I would say for them two fan bases, but for me, I was experiencing this with the GameCube. Like, I remember distinctly taking that's when the Xbox OG came out. You had the PlayStation 2 pretty much dominating everything, right? I went over my college friends. They had two of my college friends had an apartment, and I took my GameCube over there trying to show them. I think it was Resident Evil 4, or I had Resident Evil 4, and I was trying to show them that Vendetta and Mario. I took Mario Sunshine over there. Well, I'm trying to show them how great this system is, man. They ain't want to have nothing to do with with that system, man. I try to put the controller in their hand. They're like, dude, we ain't no kids. What's wrong with you? I'll be showing them. He couldn't deny the graphics on Resident Evil 4, but it was because it was Nintendo.
He's in the wrong box.
And that's kind of when I went, and Live, you can jump in here after this. That's kind of when I went into my Super Nintendo Defense Force. Like, it's all Nintendo. I'm throwing ninja stars. I'm nunchucking everybody that came in, Nintendo's direction. Even though, like I said, I was being hypocritical. I did like God of War, but I wouldn't play it because it was on Sony system. I did like some of the games. I'm gonna be honest, I did like Spawn a little bit better than Zelda.
Oh, what? Spawn?
I'm just gonna be real. I'm gonna tell you why. I like Zelda better as a character.
You mean Link in Soul Calibur?
In Soul Calibur, but Spawn was dope. And the Xbox version had better graphics. And I've noticed it, but I couldn't say it because I was a Nintendo fan. So I embraced Link, even though in the back of my head I like Spawn's character better in the game. That's just honest to God. And I was like, dude, and I kind of woke up. I kind of woke up during the end of the Wii, coming into the Wii U. And I would say even I wrestled with it at the beginning of the Wii U. But then I just came to this grip, man. Look, I don't care no more. This is all stupid. But Live, jump in there.
I just want to say real quick, but there's a difference between what you just explained and what you were talking about, which is dudes who are just ready to fight each other.
But I think they get there, Mr. T, because of what I'm talking about, and they don't know. Because it did get there for me, where I was just hating to hate. Just I don't care. Quantum Break, I'd be at this house. If I was still like that, I'd be at this house like in the recesses of my mind, like, dang, that game is hot. Why I can't be on my system? But I'll be online talking about that game sucked, the protagonists suck, the graphics suck, it don't look better than I would be doing that, man. That's what them cats doing. But Live, jump on in there, man.
Man, it all started with me back in the 80s, man, when we had the Sega Sega Master System, and we had the NES. My grandfather, he would always, Christmas time, he would always send me a gift from Florida. So one Christmas he sent me, a Sega Master System. I said, what is this? So I get it. I'm playing, stuff like that. I was like, man, these graphics, pretty good, on here. So, I would go to my cousin's house and play the NES. And I was like, man, these games don't look too, too hot on here, like that. And, me and my cousin, we would go back and forth, which games, would be the hottest, and stuff like that. But like you said, back then, it wasn't that serious. Everybody loved to play games, back in the 80s. Everybody loved to play games, no matter what system, it was on. Yeah, you had your banter and, back and forth, and stuff like that. But this what takes it to the next level. When you have people on Facebook that stay on your timeline 24/7 disputing a piece of plastic, they got a problem. They have a problem, a serious problem. And guys, when I say this, like, my phone constantly. I'm a night owl. I'm a night owl. I sleep during the day and I'm up during the night because of my sleep patterns is like it's off. It's off right now. You know, I'm staying up all during the night until the morning, probably like 6 o'clock in the morning. Then I go to sleep. My phone constantly goes off with people. Microsoft is better than the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I had to take all my notifications off, man, because it was doing it so much.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, do you have a life? I mean,
you know, the saddest part, though, the saddest part is a lot of these dudes, they spend more time on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube than they actually do playing video games.
Exactly.
They spend more time cheerleading than they actually do playing the damn games.
Exactly.
That's the saddest part. That is the saddest part.
Go ahead, jump in there, John.
Yeah, they I've been saying the same thing for the last 5 years. They crazy. Something's wrong with them. It's like I don't understand them at all. Period. Like
I don't.
Like see the stuff that y'all saying right now. That doesn't even equal to the crap they do. That's not.
See, the thing that kind of perturbed me was it's starting to be cats, and that's why I made the video. It's starting to be people that did not do that that's starting to do it. Like, dude, when did you fall into the trap? When did you get caught by this bad trap?
Oh, great point.
I mean, like, not you. Not you, bro. You doing it now? Like, come on, man.
I've seen that too.
And I'm like, it's like, dude, I know you good peoples. I know y'all got very logical approaches, but y'all letting this stuff get just consumed your thoughts, man. We grown men. Look, man, I'm a grown man. At the end of the day, it don't matter like that. You know, I don't know, man. Go ahead, John.
Nothing you say about video games is gonna hurt my feelings to the point where I don't like you as a person.
Right.
You know,
let's get that serious with it. Like,
that's ridiculous.
And it could be the slightest thing, dude. You just didn't agree about a game, or you didn't agree about, or like we talking about online or no online for Splatoon, and that can literally cause folks. I don't want to talk to them no more. Why? Because they want online on Splatoon, man.
Like really? Like really? Write that down, read it to yourself, and not laugh at that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, so you got they take it to an extent that just like, let's say you ask them why they like their system of choice, right? Before they even say anything about their system, they have 10, 20 negative things to say about all the other systems. And you be like, I didn't ask you about those systems. I asked you about your system. Why'd you? You know what I'm saying? It's like when you ask people the questions, and the first thing out their mouth is, well, Microsoft don't got this. That's why I picked the PS. Well, I didn't ask you that. You know what I'm saying? I asked you why do you want the PS4? What's so good about the PS4? What's so good about the Nintendo? What's so good about this? Why is it that you chose this console? And if you can't sit there and tell me without mentioning the competitor's name or another console name, then that means you don't really know too much about your own console.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because like now you just, and also then you got the people that they have to justify their purchase. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why do you feel like you have to justify your purchase? Okay, you like that, then good. That's fine. It's great. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, that brings me to a point. We could jump back. I want to just say this. That's kind of what happened with I don't know if y'all know, but I told Live and John earlier. I got into a little spat with Bomani Jones of ESPN and a few of his followers over the sneaker game. Like, you know, they real big sneaker collectors. And I was listening to his podcast, and he was talking about how cats are always attacking people who are into sneakers. And, you know, it's no different than any other collection. And he was saying all this stuff. So anyway, on Twitter, I said, man, he had made a real egregious statement. And I said, man, really, you you kind of really going out the way with that statement. So he cussed me out. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of his followers jumped on.
Oh boy.
And was like, dude, you're ignorant, you're dumb. Because I said, do shoes retain value? And they misunderstood where I was coming from. It was like, so the dude looked at my name as like, I bet you he got a Xbox and a big TV downstairs in his basement. So I hit him back and I was like, yeah, you add a Wii U to that, you right on the money. So we was going back and forth. So I said, look, man, don't allow my opinion to rob your joy. I do think it's crazy that people are spending $200 to $100 to $1,000 on some shoes that might have cost $10 to make.
Man,
You
$10,000 on shoes.
Yeah, $10,000. I don't care. I don't care how many Jordans and 23s it got on it. It's retarded, especially as black men, being all of us being black. It is kind of, you know, a sad reality that we put this much importance on something that is of no importance. I mean,
no stocks, no bonds,
no bonds. No, you can't. Yeah, you know, I don't care how much you can sell them for to another person who ignorant enough to give you $1,000.
Nobody's used that shoe.
Right, but right. So it kind of is. I'm saying that to, you know, I'm saying that to say this. Hold up, just a sec. Okay, I'm saying that to say this. Like, it's not that. Like the point what I was saying. Just because I have an opinion on it. Okay, I have an opinion on Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo. Should my opinion rob your happiness? Like, should you be losing sleep? And in fact, when I got to that, when you get to that point, you really need to assess life and how you put your priorities in order. Because Nintendo is too high, or the Sony or Microsoft is too high on your priority list. If my onions, Mr. T, cause you to cry and cause you to lose sleep, something's off. But anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I made a couple videos about that. Like, nobody's opinion should steal your joy. I was talking to Nintendo fans too. I was like, if you enjoy something, enjoy it. Why does somebody else not liking it have to affect how you feel about it? Like,
right.
It doesn't make sense.
I hate stupid stuff. Don't get me wrong. If it's just stupid, I call it stupid. But it ain't. I ain't saying it's stupid because my sleep has left me. I'm saying it's stupid because it's stupid. Yeah. But I move on. But go ahead, John.
Like how Tomb Raider, right? Tomb Raider wasn't shit when it was exclusive, right?
Right.
It wasn't nothing. It was that game ain't that good. We got Uncharted anyway. You know what I'm saying? Something. then when they came out and said, oh, it's coming in 2016 for PlayStation 4. Oh, good. See, we're gonna get the game. Now y'all want to play it.
We're gonna get the better version, the superior version anyway.
It's like, I just be laughing. Like, it's not even that y'all hate the game. Y'all just hate it because it's coming somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so crazy. It's like, I'm like, do y'all get that what y'all doing is no point to it? It's like, it doesn't do anything for anything except hide the fact that they doing this up the butt with no KY. You know what I'm saying? It's like they getting away with murder because we sit there arguing about stupid stuff.
We're making the money for them.
Exactly.
But do you believe, and then Mr. you can take over, or live whoever was coming in, do you believe these cats are oblivious to? Because I'm starting to believe these dudes don't even know.
Oh, I'm gonna keep it real with you. A lot of these people have mental issues.
Okay.
Oh, that's true. A lot of them have health issues, and so this is so.
It's not to be funny. He's not trying to be funny. That's dead serious.
I believe. I'm starting to believe because, dude, that's why I said. If you notice, I said, I was being funny, but dude, look, man. I don't know if y'all read the comments under that video. What type of Nintendo fan are you? Look at the comments. Look at the people who got serious. Like, one I had to call. I was like, look, yo, not y'all two. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying their names or nothing. I'm like, man, we grown. Man, stop, man. Y'all need to stop. Cut this out, man. Leave that stuff for them other dudes. We don't do that over here. The whole video was to be funny and make you think about, are you putting just a little bit to this, too much to this? All of us have played one of those characters at one point or another. I know I've been a worshiper before. I've been a know-it-all before and really don't know nothing. Just like a lot of the other ones act like they know everything and don't know nothing. I try to stay in. It is what it is, and I'm a crybaby sometimes. It was to be funny. These cats took Mr. T and Live John. They took that video and just turned it into something that it was not. And I was like, you can't even do a parody of all of us, and they still take it the wrong way. It's like, I just ain't no hope for it.
they'll take a like, okay, like for instance, I was in Facebook. I don't know. People keep putting me in these Facebook groups. I don't know how I keep getting in these groups. It's just like 'cause I like to stay away from that stuff. So somebody put me in this Facebook group, and I was looking at it because I kept getting the notifications, like, you know what I'm saying, like Live was saying, you know, I kept getting these notifications on my phone. And also when I'm at work, I'll look at it because hell, I'm getting paid right now, so I'll waste some time on there. So I'm looking at it, and these fools was measuring the time it takes for the game for the system to load up. And comparing it to each other, like, well, the PlayStation 4 takes somebody said it took 30 seconds for the PlayStation to load up from dead to totally off to the dashboard or whatever. And then somebody on there got mad and said, no, it doesn't. It only takes 10 seconds to do that. So I'm like, does it really matter?
They want to be able to check their win column, you know. That's a check for us.
Like, well, Xbox. Then somebody came in, well, Xbox takes 40 seconds or something. It takes a little long time. I'm just looking at stuff like, did it really get to the point where we measuring how long a system takes to turn on? You know what I'm saying? And then it went from that topic, right?
Right.
So they were arguing back and forth about that because I came on there. I said, well, depending on what your hard drive is, how much is filled up, and unless you put one of those new hard drives in there, like the SSD drive or something in there, I said that the time limit is gonna vary with powering up. You know, if you put an SSD in there, 9 times 10 is gonna power up faster than what it was with the standard with the stock SD card in there. I mean, hard drive in there.
Right.
And so, and we did that, and that was then they. What Ari said, they didn't say nothing. They didn't care what I was saying.
They wanted to get the argument.
Yeah, they kept arguing about how long it took to turn up. Then it went from that to they was talking about PC gaming.
Man.
I was sitting like, how y'all just split from the whole nother conversation? and if you notice, all these fanboy wars, you go look at their posts and all that, it will start at one thing, and you scroll down to the end of the conversation, it'll be a whole nother topic.
Right. It's retarded, man. I just don't have the patience for it. I ain't trying to look. I'm to the point. I ain't trying to entertain it. I'm done with all that. If you start showing me traces or signs of it, I'm done. I ain't trying to be around you too much. 'Cause I don't want to hear it. I ain't trying to get in the look. We gonna disagree, man. I don't care what podcast you on, what group you with. You should never always just agree. That's my first. That's my first red flag. Y'all don't never disagree. You don't bring nobody on there that you know gonna disagree. To me, I want people to challenge my take because it makes for good conversation. I can handle you not agreeing with me. I'm pretty sure there's been many times me and Live didn't agree, me and John didn't agree, and I'm pretty sure me and Mr. T don't agree on everything. Yeah. But that's what makes it fun because we don't agree and we able to talk about what we don't agree about. These fools bring. I'm sorry for stealing your line. But they bring everybody that agree, and I'm like, dude, get some folks on there that's gonna challenge your point.
Right.
Are you scared of that? Do you fear that? It's like you gotta fear it because you won't bring nobody, and if they do, you don't want to bring them back. It's like, please, man.
We don't agree. Like you was just saying, we don't agree on everything, but that's good on one hand, and also. We don't, we still can get along, even though we don't agree on everything.
Like, so I know men Terminator Juice didn't agree on a few things.
I saw y'all.
And I think he thought I didn't want to. He sent me. He's like, man, you welcome. I'm like, dude, it ain't. Look, I'm not like these dudes. You ain't got to worry about that from me. We can argue on the podcast, and I'll be back next week. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It's just on that we didn't agree, So, but cats can't operate like that, and I've seen it so many times. Like dudes ain't won't have nothing to do with you once you don't agree with them. And
well, the thing is, like I've said it a lot. A lot of these dudes have super egos. So if they believe something is one way and they think that's gospel. And
right.
If you don't agree with it, you're lying. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to your fans or whatever. And that's the kind of stuff that's just, whoa. Like, I can't rock with that. Like, I understand that.
People, I don't know. I've been trying to fight that for a while. I just kind of just give up. I just ignore them now. So
yeah, that's what I'm at the point, man. I'm right where you at, John.
Because I've been sitting there getting, I just be having headaches. Like, come on, man, for real. I was like, and, like, if you don't like Sony, then why are you watching it?
Yeah.
You don't like Nintendo, and if you don't like, this is my thing. Like, okay, it's one thing to watch it because you're interested and you might want something that you might want, and you're interested in like seeing what they're gonna sell you or whatever, like something like that. But if you know you don't want Nintendo and you know you're not gonna purchase it, then why are you sitting there commenting on it?
Yeah. Yeah, like, why are you watching me if you're not into Nintendo? Like, if you hate Nintendo, why are you watching my channel? Like, I don't understand that. Like,
dude, man,
I'm not gonna change. My channel's not gonna change. That's one thing about me. Like, unless Nintendo does something completely egregious, I'm gonna be a Nintendo fan.
Right.
That's not gonna change. So
when I say something, like, people think like I'm a Sony hater. No, I'm not a Sony hater. I'm a Sony supporter, and the reason I hate so much on them is because I want them to do better than what they're giving me. Because I want them to take my money. Those niggas are hell. I didn't support their ass for so long, and I get disappointed. Like, hey, I bought this device, and then next thing you know, a month later, I don't get nothing for it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, that's a problem for me. I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings, and I'm sorry that I got in between your relationship with your device, but I spent my money on this. I spent support for it.
And for me, like, here's the thing, like, with me, like, as much as obviously my channel is Nintendo focused or whatnot, I don't spend hardly any time talking about, or popping shots at Microsoft or Sony. You can check my videos. I don't do it. I probably made more fun of Nintendo fans than I have anybody else's fan base.
See, it is a difference between taking a shot at a company and just stating the truth. Like, I used to go at Sony about their finance. I was saying Sony had financial problems. It was like my second video.
Yeah.
Cats thought I was talking crazy. Like, dude, if you go look at what they saying in the actual meetings and on the financial end, not Sony, PlayStation, go look what they saying about Sony. Y'all, I was saying that it wasn't that Sony. It wasn't because I hate Sony. Actually, the PlayStation 3 is one of my favorite systems.
Yeah.
Still using that thing, for Blu-rays for the most part, but it's still getting utilized in my house regularly. That's why I ain't bought a Blu-ray player, because I can't find one that matches. So it's like, from that angle, I had no problem with it. It's when cats, you just, that it ain't nothing but hate. If that game was on your preferred piece of hardware, you would be praising it to no end. They even to the point that turn against qualified developers because it ain't on their system. You should see how many posts I saw hating on Scalebound, and I'm like, y'all praise this company all the time. Why y'all hating on them now? Don't we supposed to reserve the track record that this company is good, so we should trust them? Ain't that the same thing we doing with Metroid? Federation Force, shouldn't we supposed to trust them because of the track record, right? So why that don't extend to Platinum Games on Microsoft system? Why we can't trust them now? Oh, now it's a problem. See, no, man, that's some straight up hating. Just be honest with yourself, you hating. And I saw that all on Twitter the other day, and I'm like, man, this, I get tired of this, man. It's like, dude, would y'all stop with this nonsense? But anyway, we done with this conversation. Let's move on. So, unless anybody live, you ain't got nothing to say on that, do you?
No.
All right, I got off my rant. I just had to get that off my chest. I ain't want to make a video about it. I just did it in the podcast. Anyway, my bad, folks. If y'all feelings hurt, I got some tissue in the virtual digital world. Wipe your tears there. So, anyway. Live had this topic. I thought it was real good, so let's go into it. Is Mario Maker the next Minecraft? I'm gonna let Live set this up while he was saying that. Go ahead.
Well, basically, I was just thinking today. I was like, okay, what's Nintendo next? Big game that's gonna sell. And I said, Mario Maker. Mario Maker is getting a lot of support through Nintendo, through Facebook, through YouTube. Everywhere I turn around, I'm seeing Mario Maker. I'm seeing. I'm seeing, levels from the treehouse. I'm seeing, I guess other people that already have the game making levels, and I guess Nintendo has already opened it up to where, they can put the levels on the internet and they're starting to share it, and stuff like that. IGN had a 2-hour special, on Mario Maker, and the game to me is, okay, my question is to everybody, how does a 30-year-old game still has the nostalgia, the goals, the know-it-all, I guess the liberation? People still want to play that game 30 years after. people still want to play that game. Yeah, you have people on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, social media. Oh man, it's Mario. I'm sick of Mario. Nintendo makes Mario, every year. I'm sick of Mario. But they want to play Mario Maker. They want to play it.
I don't know, man. It's well. Let y'all go ahead and answer. I'll jump in after y'all. I guess John, go on in, John.
Man, it's that fun. It's like
That's it.
I still have my regular Nintendo and my Super Nintendo sitting down there in the basement, and I'll still get on a computer and play Mario through an emulator or something. I'll just be playing Mario. I don't know. It's like that's one of them games that no matter what goes down,
it doesn't depreciate.
No, it doesn't. It's like I can always go back to that. I'm still gonna have fun.
Yeah.
I was watching this. Mister, you can jump in after this, or if you got something to say, go ahead and I'll wait.
No, go ahead.
I think it's
I was watching this.
something.
I was watching this show on TV where they were selling. His husband had passed, and he had these old vintage racing cars from the '60s. And what they did was, polish them up, rework the engine, and sold them. And the car sold for more than he paid for. It's like one of them sold for like $180 some thousand. And she sold 3 of them. All of them got up to the least one she sold, the cheapest one she sold for was $130,000. That's kind of like what Mario is. It don't matter what age. All you gotta do is wipe them off, shine them up, and it's gonna impress. And people gonna come out in droves to buy it again because it just never loses what it is evergreen. It's the one evergreen game. I don't care where you at. What you do you can play that game and get the same feelings you had when you first played it. It is kind of crazy.
And you know what? I like about it too, man. Is okay when you use the amiibos in the aspect. You can use the different characters. You can use Zelda. You can use Donkey Kong. You can use the Wii Fit trainer. And she's steady yelling out moves when she jumps, and stuff like that. I'm like, man, it's like I want to get a Xbox One or a PS4, back over again. I want to get it, but Nintendo makes it hard for me when they do stuff like that. I'm like, man, I got to get a Wii U all back over again, man. I got to play Mario Maker, man.
Go ahead, Mr. T. Oh, you had to step out. Go ahead, John, or whoever's gonna come in.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like that game is just that. I don't. It's like it's magic.
It might have some voodoo or something on it, man. I don't know.
It's magic because like that Super Mario 1. Only one I don't keep playing is 2. Cause I sucked at 2 though, so that's why I didn't play it. But with 3, I'll play 3. I'll play 1. I'll play Super Mario World.
The only 2 I never beat was 2 and 3. I never could beat 3. I still got to go back and beat 3. I haven't beat 3 yet.
Dog 3 out, bro. I used to dog 3 out.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about it. It's just like it's always fun because it's like you know what's gonna happen, you know what's coming. It's like, but it's just fun doing it.
Right. I think it's the first. Let's say it like this, man. It might be one of the only, ain't nothing perfect, but I think it might be the closest to perfection in gaming. I mean, especially when you're talking about 2D. What has really changed about the formula of the 2D Mario game from the original NES to the new Super Mario Bros. U outside of maybe the poly count or the graphics? Everything you doing is exactly the same stuff you was doing. In some cases, it was better on the NES, like when you had to stick that landing on that thin. I never forget this in I think it was World 7.
8.
Is it 8-1 or 8-2?
8-1 and 2, I think I have.
Okay, it got
huge gaps.
This huge gap. You got this thin piece of brick you got to hit. And if you miss it, you just dead. I mean, it's that type of stuff, man, that I don't even think the modern ones got it that tight. I didn't witness nothing like that in New Super Mario Bros. U. It wasn't but maybe the harder levels, you know what I'm saying, and maybe the Luigi one, which I never got the Luigi one, maybe had parts like that, but, so go ahead, Mr. T, I know you had paused, but go ahead.
Yeah, just a New Super Luigi U, it's harder because the time limit and some of the enemies change, but it doesn't have stuff like that, what you're talking about with those crazy gaps in World 8 on the original Mario and whatnot. But yeah, like you guys were saying, Mario is just it's gaming, it's platform perfection. Like it's just you can easily pop it on, and just hearing the music alone takes you to a different time. Just listen to that music, that da 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 da. Like that's just part of your DNA at this point, and it just takes you somewhere when you just hear that. And so I think the reach of Mario Maker is the fact that now I can make my own levels in that amazing game that I played when I was a kid, and not only that, it's nuanced to where I can add stuff from Super Mario Brothers 2 and Super Mario Brothers 3 and Super Mario, New Super Mario Brothers or whatever, the style and whatnot, and you can take stuff from the older games and take it back into, or the newer games and take it back to the older games, like being able to use what's his name, the Cloud, the kid, the creature in the cloud, being able to add that to like a Mario 1 style game. It's just, it's bonkers, and people want to be able to create those levels and troll people. That was a great. I never even thought about the whole Minecraft thing. That's a great way to look at it.
And when Live asked the question, I was at work thinking about Minecraft blew up because of what it done. The whole building of worlds and all that type of stuff, and it really, I don't know why it took off like it did, but it just took off.
Yeah.
Mario already has that nostalgia. It's the game of all games with the character of all characters. If the game stage developing part is as good as how they've been showing, I think it could. I think it has the potential, and it kind of goes back to Nintendo jumped the gun with step. Kind of seemingly. I ain't saying they giving up on the Wii U, but they obviously moving on. With Splatoon success and with Mario Maker seemingly catching a strong win and people really interested in it, like Live, I think it does have the potential. It might not outsell Minecraft, but it definitely might be the biggest hit since Minecraft.
I think it's gonna be the biggest selling game going into the holiday season.
Okay.
Going into the holiday season.
Yeah, if they release Mario Maker on PC or something, then you can talk Minecraft. Because those guys, they've always been doing that kind of stuff in games, PC guys. So it makes that game is kind of perfect. That's why you get in the buzz even outside of Nintendo fans, is because guys who think of all the games that people use to make you can make your own worlds and stuff. And what do they usually make right away? They make Mario type stuff, Mario levels. Minecraft does it too. How many Mario inspired levels have you seen in Minecraft? Like the Peach's Castle and all that stuff. You see it in Minecraft all the time. So Mario has that appeal, and it just it makes sense that Nintendo would finally deliver you a game, basically the tools they've been using forever to make Mario games, and giving you those tools. And yeah, it's. I didn't like when they first announced it. I was like, "Oh, that's cool, Mario Maker. You can make your own levels, kind of thing." And then the more they showed of it, the more I realized this thing is going to be pretty huge.
I think what done it for everybody. We're gonna get to these questions here after this. If everybody does. I think what done for everybody is that tournament at E3.
Right, the E3 thing.
I think that done it. I think that single experience done it for everybody, because watching them guys play through them stages and the fun that they was having sold me on the game. And I was like, okay, I got to get it. It's a done deal. There's no more, okay, it's cool, but do I really want to sit down here and manipulate a stage just to play through other people's stages and test my skills? It alone is worth the purchase. So
I mean, it brought out the kid in everybody. That
right.
Nintendo World Championships, obviously, that's a thing that's a throwback to the NES and the dominance of Nintendo back then. But it was also it felt like the ending of that movie, The Wizard, when they first showed Super Mario Brothers 3 for the first time. It had that feel to it too. And I think when people saw that at E3, they were like, "Oh, this is great! I got to get this."
Okay. Anybody else got any final words on this before we go into these questions?
What was I going to say? Nintendo did show some indie games at Gamescom, and they showed Fast Racing Neo.
Yeah.
I want to say, oh man, it was another game. I forgot what it was.
I saw a few of them on YouTube. Like I said, I wasn't, since Nintendo didn't show up there, I wasn't gonna worry about.
I mean, they was there, but they didn't. They ain't make a big fuss about it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But I can't remember all the games they did show. But anyway, because we're getting close to right at that 2-hour mark. So let's get into these questions, man. First of all, this is from me. I need to, Mr. T, I don't know if you listened to the podcast from last week, but we got into a discussion about Meek Mills and Drake and his battle. Okay. Since we ended here and John was secretly listening to the Meek Mills response, let me ask this question before we go into the other questions. Did Meek Mill's response live up to what we said he had to do, John, or did he fail?
Nope, shut up. Move on. Let's go. No, he utterly dropped the ball. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. And it's like, I went back to go listen to some of his old stuff. I'm like, where did you go? Like Nick needed to let your balls go. I was like, it's something going on with you, because that don't even sound like you. That was hot garbage, and that wasn't no dissing. That was garbage. And I was like, and then whoever your man's is with you that told you that was hot, you need to go kick them in their teeth. Because your friend shouldn't even let you release that.
Live, jump on that. Go ahead, man. What you got to say? Because me and you listened to it. We kind of talked. We tried to get you back in the call, John, but I think you was frustrated, so you could come back in. But go ahead, Live. What you think about Meek's response, man?
Man, it was over. Like we said, when we was on the podcast last time, the best thing for Meek Mills was not to come out and say anything. Just leave it alone. Do what he was doing. Just use a little Twitter fingers and keep tweeting. Because he's not that type of rapper. To attack a Forbes list. Rapper. We talking about, this is Drake. He's pretty much, up there with the level of, with Jay-Z and, Nas.
Going to modern, I see what Nas said.
Hold up. Listen to
Finish your thought. Finish your thought.
Listen to me now. I'm just saying he's up there far far as financial wise, he's up there with with Nas and Jay-Z, and stuff like that. To be one of the rappers to be on Forbes list now. I'm saying as that. Now if he wants to, if Drake wants to crush the game and make it all his, oh trust me, he can do it. He can do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Drake, I'm gonna get this Drake. I mean, he still got a little bit more before I can put him on the level of the Nas and the.
I think he's talking financially.
But no, I mean, I know he's talking financially. I'm talking about lyrically. Yeah. He has the skills, but he ain't done enough to justify that platform. But lyrically, I study lyrics, man. Drake is a problem, bro. He's a problem. But anyway, let's see. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not the best person to speak on this. For one, I'm a hip hop dinosaur. Like, I'm a purist. And, I listen to these dudes, and they don't do it for me. Drake or Meek even less. So, I listened to it because I saw you guys talking about it, or you were gonna talk about it. It was in your little picture, your thumbnail or whatever. So, I wanted to see what it was about. And I don't know, man. Coming from like LO versus Kumo D, LO versus Cannabis, Pac, Biggie, obviously Jay-Z, Nas, like Common.
Siegel, you heard that one?
Yeah. Common and Ice Cube. Like,
yeah, that was a good one.
These dudes ain't doing it for me as far as straight up beef. But I think what Live was alluding to was a financial thing, and to me, that's a problem because that seems to happen with beef today. It's like who has the most fans, whoever has the most fans wins, basically. And I feel like your boy's gonna win because he has more fans. What's his name?
Drake.
Drake, right? I don't, take both of them lyrically. I mean, Drake is cool. He has a nice tempo and whatnot, and like I said, I'm not the I'm not the guy to.
Right. I got you.
That's what I want to say. Okay.
John, let me say this. John is the Meek. John was expecting Meek Mills to come through and then set the place on fire.
He could, but it's something stopping him from doing it. And I don't know what it is. Cause that ain't that stuff that I'm listening to. That ain't when he get beef, he come hard, and that ain't it.
I think, man. If I would be honest.
And my thing here with Drake now I said I gave Drake his props. I said that was a funny diss, and he hit some shit. He dissed him hard, but I think the internet is riding on Drake's dick too hard.
That's what's going on.
Because they bump. I'm talking about they bumping the song in club. That's not even a club. You can't even. That's not even. That wasn't even a. That was just a little track that was funny and it's okay. We got it out there. That's not even a hot song. You got people out here bumping that stuff.
Yeah.
I just feel like he ain't like. I feel like I can eat him alive. Drake.
I wanted to come out and make a diss track after that.
Let me say this. Let me say this, man. What Meek Mills? The two problems Meek Mills have is one. Drake was too popular.
Right.
One. His popularity. Meek underestimated how popular Drake is. Drake crossed over. Drake is dealing a whole nother level of popularity and success and favor, and those people are going to make sure that because a lot of their advertising, a lot of their like Sprite and all that is riding on the popularity of Drake. So you got media behind Drake. So that's one thing Meek messed up with. The thing that John, what you're talking about, Meek is fiery, but you can't come at Drake with the guns and shooting and killing.
Not necessarily. Here's the thing, though. I was gonna say is I don't know if it was of the times, but Drake can go after Meek Mills because, like I said, Cannabis went after LL and he ate him alive. Like he destroyed him with that first round knockout track, and then
Cannabis
destroyed LL.
Yeah, but it was on a lyrical.
And everybody loved LL at that time. So and LL
they still gave that battle to L.
Well, L, because he did come back nasty. Like the first comeback was whack. It was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
But his second comeback track, I can't remember what it was called. He destroyed Cannabis in that, and it was over.
Well, if you I watched a lot of back and forth with hip hop gurus and all that.
Yeah.
Like I saw Redman and Method Man and all them talking about it. They all say that Cannabis, lyric for lyrics, Cannabis beat LL Cool J.
Yeah.
What worked for LL Cool J was what's working for Drake right now.
Right.
The fact that LL Cool J had the media and the fame and the popularity that would kill Cannabis. By the popularity alone killed Cannabis. LL could have said whatever he wanted to. He was gonna get on all the radios, all the TV shows were gonna pump him up. Where Cannabis didn't have that market to combat LL.
But he wasn't consistent. That was Cannabis's problem. Like, people love an underdog, and people love to see the big guy get knocked down. So he had that on his side. He just wasn't consistent enough in his attack.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, LL's power and influence is what Cannabis was coming back. But also, Cannabis' heart wasn't in it because Cannabis, the whole thing that started the beef, Cannabis was giving LL praise. LL took it wrong. But LL suppressed him. Like, he couldn't, like, man, if you go watch some videos on Cannabis talking about that story, he lost all backing. Like, he couldn't get no radio time. People wouldn't work with him no more because LL had put the pretty much the blackball on him, man. Blackmailed him. Or I don't know what that is. A blackball when you pretty much ostracize a person and cut off all his life support. That's what he was doing. But Drake, the problem with Meek Mills, the other problem with Meek Mills with Drake is Meek is used to battling cats like who's the other boy from Philly? What's his name?
I call him and Cassidy got into it.
Cassidy, yeah. Like, you can talk that gun talk, drug talk, street talk.
No,
you can't do that with Drake because Drake.
If Drake would have dissed Cassidy, we wouldn't be talking about this. Drake would be sitting there. Drake's career would be over. He dissed Cassidy right now.
Yeah.
It will be over.
I kind of agree with you.
I don't know, man. I don't know, Ever John.
Drake lyrical versus Cassidy. It ain't no competition.
Cassidy ain't gonna do what Meek Mills did. Cassidy gonna come with.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think he should have just waited, finish the damn tour, and then come at him. I told you, like, it's a tour. He's on tour. Let him finish the damn tour. He let the peer pressure get to him, and he rushed the fist out on him.
Not to say these guys are on the same level as Jay-Z and Nas, but Jay-Z overwhelmingly had the popular vote. He overwhelmingly had the bigger sales. He was the more commercial dude. But Nas destroyed him. Everybody knows.
Oh my God! I get so. Oh, stop. Nas did not. Okay, I'm leaving alone. I'm leaving alone. Ether did not kill Takeover.
Hold on. Ether is a term in hip hop now because Nas ethered Jay-Z.
That's cause this is what happened. I'm gonna let it be. This my onion.
Now you're tripping.
Nas had a whole song dedicated to Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z had one verse.
Wrong. He had two.
Well, you Super Ugly, but we don't count Super Ugly. We just talking about the Takeover verse. It was just one. And the song was better. Takeover, the song was better than Ether. The beat was better than Ether. Dude, the beat, the production, oh my God. All right, I'm gonna leave it alone. I got it. Look,
all he did was rip the Doors song.
Yeah, it was hard though. It was so hard. Lame. And oh my God. And that's so lame. Oh my God. I'm going back to listen to it right now. Anyway, but go ahead, man. We'll finish this off. Go and finish your point, Ms. T.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, like, you can, even if you don't have the popular vote, which Nas didn't have. Nas was the underdog. Yeah. Nas was about to quit hip hop. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, his
mother was sick. Right? Yeah. He was ready to quit, and that's when Jay-Z went after him. Like, and that was just cold to me, you know. So, but what I was saying is that, you know, Nas was, you know, his albums were selling less. You know, by the time he got to what was that album? It was I Am, and then Nostradamus. By the time he got to Nostradamus, he was kind of garbage. That album was kind of garbage. So he was selling less.
Started, but now you just garbage. We're from top 10, not mentioning it all. That's so lame. Oh my God, that was so lame, man. All right. I'm gonna get off my. That's one of the. That's one of my favorite diss
Jay-Z.
tracks. Okay, I'm
It's a
leaving
great
alone.
diss track. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, it's a great diss track.
I don't like Jay-Z. Jay-Z horrible to me.
He is
But
now.
he's not lyrically
He
on.
fell off now, man. I can't stand him. Live, you got anything to say? We move on to these questions, man.
Man, not to get off topic, but what do y'all think about Dr. Dre coming out with his
That's tonight.
first album, Compton?
I'm looking forward to hearing it, man. When Drake come out, that's pretty much
That's an event, man.
that's an event. That's like Avengers going to the theater, man. It's just trying to stop everything and go see it.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm
Hopefully
looking.
live up to the hype, because I don't know, like,
Yeah,
we were expecting so much, and then it was like,
It's crazy that we talking about Drake, because Drake got all people writing his stuff, and that's how the Meek Mills Drake stuff started. When
Cassidy responded to, he had the interview, just talking about the Meek Mill stuff or whatever, and he basically said the same thing I said. It's like he should, whoever your boys was that told you that you could put that out was that you need to fire them. But yeah, he was basically talking about he's like a lot of the industry people that you wouldn't even believe that they got people writing their stuff or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. He's like he wrote some stuff for people that he ain't gonna name their names or whatever, and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, let's get it. Oh, go ahead.
But let's ask this question right here. Would you view Tupac and Biggie any different if you find out that they didn't write their rhymes?
Yes.
Yeah. Especially Tupac, because his stuff wasn't hard. Hard to write. He one of the best to me that all encompassing everything he did. I think he one of the best, but just on his lyrics alone, I don't think Tupac would need anybody to write that. It was just passion. It was passion.
His passion. Yeah, his lyrics wasn't like crazy enough.
Yeah, it was his passion.
His fire on the track was just
right. Biggie, Biggie
would mess me up.
That would mess me up if Biggie wasn't writing his own stuff. Why you got something that you got something you need to drop on us?
No, I'm just saying. So now you understand. Because everybody tried to like dismiss what Meek was saying, right?
But
like,
Drake ain't. But we talking about
Pretty like you can't.
Drake.
No, but hold on. If he bought a verse from him to put on his album, and then you find out later that it ain't something that you wrote, then what did you pay for? You paid for
this would be my question. This would be my question. Did my appearance? Okay, well, did Drake's appearance on your album help sell your album? Because that's really what you paying for. You ain't paying for his rap. You paying for his name to be on that song.
Featuring Drake. That's what kind of paying.
Featuring Drake help sell your album. Because if you didn't have Drake on there, you probably wouldn't have got as many sales as you got. Because Drake got the following that Meek don't have. So his presence alone exposed Meek to way more people. So forget if his album, he wrote the stuff.
So basically, you giving an excuse to saying like, hey, it don't matter if you write the stuff.
Okay, let me say this and I'll leave this.
Meek wins no matter what, because now he's more exposed.
Right.
Go
ahead, Misty.
I was just saying to people who don't know him, now battling Drake, no matter what, even if he does lose, he wins.
Yeah, to an extent, depending on how. But in this day, in the media day, man, all them memes, I don't know. But I would say this, John. From my understanding, Meek saying that Drake had someone to critique and edit his rap. He didn't write it.
No, he said he didn't write it. He said, because he said it when before the started. He said the track that he gave me on whatever the last album was. Cause I ain't bought none of these people's albums, but he said whatever the last album, the track that he had from on the last album, he didn't write it.
Okay.
So he said, how would you feel if you got one of these tracks from people that's supposed to be hot and they didn't write it?
I still think if Drake's name alone carries sales, you can't cry because that man, you bought him you wanted the sales. You ain't. Okay,
but if you about rap, you can't go about that.
Meek ain't about rap. Meek thought he had a lame line in his scope, and he tried to take the carcass, and he messed around and didn't know that the line was well alive and got his neck ripped open. That's all that happened to him. That's really what happened, man.
That's just what I'm saying, because I wish somebody else would just fucking come out, that it was funny just because at the time it was certain situations funny, but I don't think Drake battling nobody is going. He can't go toe to toe with nobody.
He can't. No, the way he flows, his delivery, he's not equipped to battle a battle MC. Like he ain't equipped.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I said this last podcast. I don't want to linger on this too much longer, but I'm gonna give y'all an opportunity to defend y'all point. I think y'all really underestimating what makes Drake so good and why Meek Mills and my men live keep saying Meek Mills is gonna be in a losing. Meek Mill is aggressive. He's passionate. He got that Tupac. He ain't lyrical. Meek is not a lyrical dude. On the lyrics, he's never gonna beat Drake because Drake is witty with his lyrics. He got all them double and triple entendres and saying stuff 5 different ways in 4 bars. Meek can't do that. So he ain't. You can come talking about I'm gonna run in your house, hold the gun to your head. You can talk about how much dope you pushing and how your click roll hard. That ain't gonna beat Drake because we know Drake ain't about that. Drake gonna come with them bars. And if you can't come with bars, you better leave. It's like why Jay-Z never went at Jada. Jada come with bars. That's why he never go at Benny Siegel. Benny Siegel got too many bars. Jay-Z can't mess with dudes on that level. He don't have bars like that. You know, that's my opinion.
So you saying he more afraid of dudes than Nas?
Like Nas is a storyteller. Nas got bars. Jay-Z got bars too, but he ain't got Jada the Kiss and Styles P and all them. They got them crazy. You gotta listen to it 4 or 5 times to even catch what they meant. You gotta listen. You can, 2 or 3 times you got Jay-Z. Sometimes you still don't get what Jada was talking about. You see what I'm saying? Like he is the rapper's rapper. Like Jay-Z gets a lot of his inspiration from some of these dudes. I'm like the Jadakisses and the Style P's and even his own boy. That's why Nas said you ain't even better than your boy Beans. He ain't really. Beans is a better rapper than Jay-Z, in my opinion. That's just me, but maybe I'm saying too much. I might be saying blasphemy on this. I'll fall back.
You're right.
I felt some downvotes on that one.
Jay-Z horrible.
But I'm just being real. Benny Siegel is a way better rapper than Jay-Z. You just listen to what Jay-Z's talk about better stuff. Benny don't have good topics, but just rapping. Go listen to the stuff that Benny Siegel and go back and listen to that Benny Siegel Jadakiss battle, and then go listen to Nas and Jay-Z. It's night and day. It ain't even on the same level.
You talking about Jay Biggie?
No, Jay-Z and
Jay Biggie.
Jay Biggie.
Okay, I got you. I see. This topic. Let's move on, man. I'm done with this topic.
Rhymes is gonna come out your fat lips.
Yeah. All right. So let me go on to this YouTube channel first and get these questions, and then we go to Google Plus.
I just have to say, Meek Mill, you let me down.
Yeah.
I was rooting for you. You let that singing faggot rape you.
You had one job, Meek.
One job.
Here go our first question. This is an easy one. Does Mr. L Live and John have websites? YouTube channels?
I have a YouTube channel. It's called Full Effect Gaming 1. Let me make sure that's the name of it.
So this is John.
That's kind of bad when you don't know the on
Live, what's your YouTube? You know he got one, but he ain't on it.
Because I'm subscribed and you ain't made a video in a long time.
Well, I have a YouTube channel. It's Mr. L Live 08, show. You can look it up on there. And the reason why I really haven't really made any videos, because I used to use my iPhone, and iPhone had a great application to making videos, and I could do it instantly. But for some odd reason, now that I have Android, I can't find an application that's similar. To that.
You heard it, folks. Apple, that Apple life, son.
Yeah, and it's like, man, I'm gonna have to get an iPhone all back over again just for me to, to start making videos.
And that question comes from DLS Master. I guess that's how you said it. DLS master. So
My channel's Full Effect Gaming 1 on YouTube, and the website's fulleffectgaming.com.
okay, Mr. T, go on, tell them. I'm pretty sure they know yours, but go ahead and tell them yours too, man.
It's Mizza T. That's it. The Mizza T Show. That's Mizzah space Tee.
Come on, no, you gotta do it. You gotta do it like you do it on the show.
Mizza T, fools.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how to say this name. Red Gut.
Why is it Red Grunt 34?
Raza Red Grunt. That's how you say it.
Yeah.
R34 says, "What do you guys think would have happened if Nintendo came out with a Captain Falcon eShop shell-shaded beat 'em up during E3 when people wanted a F-Zero game, or maybe a Bayonetta character action game? Would the reaction have been like Federation Force or Farce?" He said, "For Force." Who want to jump on that one first? Basically, let's cut the second part off. We ain't gonna deal with because Federation Force opened up a whole bunch of wounds. Captain Falcon from F-Zero. Do you think they should? Do you think they would have had a big explosion of excitement had a Captain Falcon eShop shell shade beat 'em up came out during E3?
I don't think so. I think a lot of people who say they want F-Zero, that's not as big a number as, say, a Metroid fan base. And I think if the Captain Falcon beat 'em up game was good, people would love that because we love Captain Falcon doing his Falcon Punch. If the game was called Falcon Punch and it was a beat 'em up starring Captain Falcon, people would not be mad about that, I don't think.
Okay. Live, John, whoever you want. Go ahead.
I don't know.
I think it if the game was good, I think people would like it, but I really don't think it would sell that well, you know.
Mm-hmm. If it was going directly to eShop, I think the expectations, and depending on how it looked and what they showed, I don't know. I mean, that's a hard one to answer. I'm pretty sure anything at that E3 would have been better than what was there. Look, I was going to have this as a question, but I decided not to go this route. But have y'all noticed everybody stopped talking about Star Fox?
Yep.
Yeah.
You ain't heard nobody talking about that. Lets you know how dismal that E3 was, because we ain't even talking about Star Fox no more. So,
including me, I had a 20-minute video before it came out.
Right. So that should tell you. I mean, I just noticed ain't nobody talking about Star Fox. You don't see no videos, no anticipation. Everybody else talking about something else. Splatoon or something else. But anyway, go ahead, Live.
They had some off-screen gameplay at Gamescom. That's since you brought it up. I did see some gameplay, but it pretty much looked like the game was polished up a little bit, but I mean it wasn't nothing spectacular.
It was underwhelming.
I'm just saying, YouTube, ain't nobody on YouTube talking about it. Go ahead.
Star Fox was underwhelming. As a huge Star Fox fan, I mean I said it's not new. That I felt the game. They didn't show the whole game. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe they had to because obviously they didn't have much else going on at E3.
Yeah, I believe the game gonna be good. I really do.
Yeah, I believe the final product is gonna be great, but I think people aren't talking about it because they were underwhelmed for the most part. And
Okay, let's move on to this next question. Then I had to look up these other ones. D2K Prime asks, he has two questions. The first one is it hard for you guys to find arcades anymore? I have to drive down to Illinois. Oh, okay, you ain't too far from Missouri, peoples, to find one where I live. We all grew up in the golden age of arcades. If you had the money, would you open up a no-frills hardcore arcade with all the games we grew up with, plus the new major ones? So, whoever want to tackle that, is it hard for you guys to find arcades in your area?
Yeah, like a straight-up arcade, like that's not part of the
like when
restaurant.
We play Street Fighters and Turtles in Times and World Champions. What was that? That game? I think it was some World Champions. It was on that one system. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
one of the saddest things for me, because I remember being a kid and first time I played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, was at this place called South of the Border between North and South Carolina. You guys heard of that? South of the Border?
Yeah.
My
Live
Yeah.
probably had.
Yeah. So
in the town.
yeah. So I went back there a couple of years ago, and it was just like a ghost town. Like it was not, because it used to be like a big arcade spot. It had all these different restaurants and all these kind of Ferris wheel type, kind of fair type of stuff. And it's all that stuff is gone. Yeah, like a carnival atmosphere.
Yeah.
And all that stuff is just gone now. And I think that was, to me, that was symbolizing the death of arcades, because I can't find a straight up arcade anywhere. And it's funny because I've been eyeing property because that's something I kind of want to do, is open an arcade, because I know there's still an audience for it, even if it's a niche audience. You could still make some money, I think, having an arcade. So
John Lai.
Well, it's funny that Mr. T brought up, the south of the border, Florence, South Carolina.
I've been there.
Florence.
They have like gold carts and all that there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been there when we went to Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yep. Florence, South Carolina used to have a big arcade in their mall. I mean, that was the thing. Friday nights, you would go there and play video games. I mean, they would always be up to date on the new video games, that was coming out, and everything. You always look forward to going to the Magnolia Mall to play, all the new video games. But now it's gone. It's gone. Like Mr. T, he said, it's gone. Even if I go to the south of the border, I want to look to go play the games. They're not there anymore.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It's dry, man.
Yeah.
It's sad.
John, go ahead, John.
Yeah, they dead here. Ain't nothing here. Right now.
Okay.
We used to have a whole lot of them. They used to be in the mall. That's where everybody used to hang out in the mall. To be there, like it'd be like jam packed, like it was a club or something.
Yeah, these kids are like, we had actually a crazy thing, man. My family owned the arcade. It's called Hip Hop Heaven, and we owned. We had all the latest games: Tekken, Run and Gun, Golden Axe. It was a few games that I had never heard of that was pretty cool. But we had this other place that was open before we opened ours, that we contended with, was called Videos and Cream, which was the big hangout spot in my hometown, and that's where everybody went on the weekends. You go in there with your $10, and you met your girlfriend there. You gave her a few of your quarters to, you know what I'm saying, and that was the spot. But these kids don't know nothing about that.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think it's not just the technology. Obviously, video game consoles are so powerful that arcades don't blow our minds like they used to visually. But I don't think it's just that. I think the personality of gamers is also, because it's easier to like sit behind your keyboard or sit behind your controller at home and talk smack than it is to like be next to somebody shoulder to shoulder.
Playing Street Fighter or Mortal
right.
Kombat or something.
These kids today ain't got enough heart, I think, to do that. So.
I remember getting my tail handed to me playing Virtual Fighter so many times in the magazine. Let me ask this. Second part of that first question is, if you had the money, would you open a hardcore arcade with all the games we grew up? I would love to, but I don't think it would make any money because the arcade came home. That's pretty much what happened, man. Yeah. These systems, all the games that made you go to the arcade came home and outdone the arcade. So really, outside of those frail, touch, bingo type, the winning bears and stuff, the carnival style games, it really ain't no point in going to no arcade for. I don't know. So what y'all think?
I said I would, because like as much as I agree with what you're saying, is like I love like the arcades and the culture of arcades and video games so much that I would take a risk if I had the money, But because like I said, I'd be eyeing property in my little town here, and I think I could do well because there's not a lot of places for young people to go, and I would offer the video game stuff. But I would, I have a little some food as well, some food and drink.
Yeah.
you
You
know,
had to have more than games, cause
yeah,
that's what I'm
pool
saying. This
tables,
generation just they ain't raised up on. They don't understand that. They don't know what that life is about.
That wouldn't be enough draw just to have.
Yeah, it wouldn't be enough draw for them, and to have all those retro games we had.
Yeah.
That they need Call of Duty. How you do Call of Duty at the arcade? You know what I'm saying? So, but anybody want to jump on that? Yep.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, like it's a you can do it, but you had to have it. Couldn't just be just arcade stuff.
Yeah.
You had to have something. You had to have something else to it with it though. Like a couple weeks ago, I went to the Screw Attack gaming conference. Right, that's what it basically was about. Is all the arcade games and stuff. Cause they had all the arcade games, and then they had a little area where you had like the Street Fighters and the Mortal Kombat. They had them in arcade machines though.
Right.
It had like that where you really do like that, and then also they had the console area and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where I would sit up there for 2 hours straight, whooping everybody in Super Street Fighter 3.
I remember I first saw Super Street Fighters 3, man. I was in Florida. We was at a resort down there. We was all going to Disney World and Universal Studios, and they had Street Fighters 3 at the arcade in the resort. And when I saw Ryu's character model, and I saw Alex, I lost it. I just went crazy. Like, oh my God, and this ain't in my hometown. So, well, go ahead, John. I ain't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, so I'll sit there for like 2 hours straight, waiting in line to go see the Dragon Ball Z voice actors or whatever. Sat there for 2 hours straight, whooping their ass. Didn't get off the sticks not once. And it's all because they don't know how they like. A lot of them was like younger kids and stuff like that, and then some of them was older. But a lot of them just they didn't know nothing about the arcade stick.
La, you got anything you want to add, or move on to the next part of the next question?
I mean, I think it would be a great idea for my area that I live in. It'll give the the younger generation a spot to hang out at. Versus hanging out in the streets. And hanging out in the Walmart. That's our club here. Walmart.
Yeah, I feel you. The little small areas, man. Another thing, man. These. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for our Caucasian brothers, but these kids don't value nothing, man. They come up and you can't keep nothing because they get to acting a little too unruly, man. You can't control them. They don't have no respect for you being an elder. But that's why we had to close down our shop, man. They tried to beat my uncle up so many times. He had to beat one of the kids up, and they ended up having to close it, man, because they used to come in and try to jump on him and stuff. It was crazy. But second question is, in your humble opinion, music is something that is more important in gaming than people give credit for, especially in fighting games. I feel that Killer Instinct, Soul Calibur, and Tekken overall have had the best soundtracks. Of those three, which do you think have consistently had the best music over the years? So, live, go ahead and answer that. Which out of Tekken, Soul Calibur, and Killer Instinct, which one do you feel like has had the best soundtrack over the years?
It's for the glory, Soul Calibur.
Okay. And then it also has this, or do you have another fighting game series in mind that you had that had a better soundtrack? So you can, if you didn't like those three, you can name another fighting game that soundtrack. So you say Soul Calibur, though?
Yep.
Mr. T?
What were the three names? I missed that part, sorry.
He said Killer Instinct, Soul Calibur, or Tekken, or you can name another fighting game that you thought if you thought was better than those three, you can name another fighting game.
My pick would have been Killer Instinct, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of one better.
John?
If we're going this Killer Instinct now, I like that soundtrack better than I like all the other ones.
Okay.
But usually with me, I'm all on about the in-game music. What do you call it? Where you get to play your own music?
Okay. I don't know what they call it, but you basically putting your own own soundtrack in there and playing to that.
Yeah. That's what I usually do on fighting games and racing games. That's what I usually.
I always
turn all
felt
those stuff.
disjointed when I did that. Like if it didn't matter. I know like I'm listening to Meek Mills yelling all over the place and I'm racing. I don't feel like I'm like this don't feel right.
That's why you have. That's why you have. See, like I got on my PS3. I had a folder with my racing tracks, and I had a folder with my with the stuff I listen to when I'm fighting on my fighting game track, and then I had one for Call of Duty. I just when I wanted to black out.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I turn off all the sounds in Call of Duty and turn that up, and I just black out and go ham.
Okay. My out of those three, I would probably have to say Killer Instinct because I always like the hard rocker. Like when I'm playing fighting games, I like that hard driving, energetic, hype music, and Killer Instinct always had that. But just quality of music, I'll probably say Soul Calibur. It definitely wouldn't be Tekken. I'll throw another game in there. What's the name of that freaking game? I had it just on the tip of my tongue and lost it just that fast. Yeah, forget it. But yeah, it'd probably be Killer Instinct because of the energy in the music, and I'm fighting, and it's already violent and destructive, and you putting them combos and them knots upside folks' heads. I like to hear that guitar going ham behind me, but that Soul Calibur, I think, was more beautiful music, and I liked it a little bit as well.
Was peaceful.
There was another game. I just had it in my thoughts. It just slipped just as fast as I brought it in. Anyway, I'll think about it in a second. But let's move on to this next question. This is at me. Keith Norris asks, where can I find your music? I'll send you that privately, bro. I'll let you get to that. I don't want everybody knowing what I do. But I'll send you a link to get to me. I'm at or I'll send you some tracks of mine. But yeah. Anyway, so you got another question here, but we'll get down to it. Terminator Juice from the Juice is Loose podcast asks, considering that you, like myself, are not a huge fan of RPG or the RPG genre, were you as disappointed as me to find out that that Scalebound is a RPG? Also, how do you feel about the generic, overly confident 18 to 25-year-old white male protagonist? So this is a two-part question. When y'all saw Scalebound, were y'all disappointed that it was an action RPG?
Nope, I'm glad. I don't like that turn-based crap.
Okay. Mr. T?
No, I wasn't disappointed. I think what you're alluding to is the fact that it's RPG at all. Some people are gonna be turned off for that. But yeah, we're talking about Platinum here. They're not like an RPG game company, so it's going to be more action than it is RPG. So I'm not worried about it.
Live?
Yeah, I'm not turned off by it. I mean, Platinum making the game, so it's gonna have action in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Me, I don't like RPGs, but I do like, because to me, I like any game that had that Zelda kind of approach where, as long as I can control my character or my protagonist and manipulate his sword, his weapons in real time where I'm actually doing that, I don't have no problem with it. It's that, like John said, it's the turn-based. That's what kept me from playing the Final Fantasies and all that, because it was turn-based. You go into a menu, pick a move, and the computer does it. I don't want to do that. Give me my sword, let me swing it, let me hack and slash until he die. I can rock with that. So it kind of was like, I'm not for sure. But no, I ain't going to say I dislike it because of the action RPG, because I think that's kind of what Zelda is an action RPG to an extent.
It is.
So I'm cool with the action RPG element. On the second part, how do you feel about the generic, overly confident 18 to 25-year-old white male protagonist? Obviously, I know we 3 black men and 4 black men in this podcast. Oh, this is
get really salty.
This is a real question, son. I would say this. I put a link up about another racial, since this is dealing with race, about this young lady who's a mix between. She has a black African father, or black dad, and a Japanese mother. And in Japan, she had a lot of problems because she wasn't fully Japanese, and they probably worse than America is with race over there. They can be worse, So to me, this has something to do with the dynamic of what they think about the West and how they approach the Western audience or market. They know that a black protagonist probably wouldn't sell, so they don't see it as as valuable or marketable. So I mean, I don't have nothing against the white male protagonist, but it says a lot that we act like that's the only type of human, So I don't really know how to answer that question without getting a little offensive, so I won't hit it too hard. But who want to tackle that?
Well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are in a box when it comes to this kind of stuff, so they get offended when people want "quote unquote" diversity in things because they don't know what it's like to not have to be represented and stuff.
Right.
They don't understand that. So when people, want to fight for, "quote unquote" fight for equality and want to have that stuff, they get annoyed by that. And it's because they're basically being selfish. They don't understand what it's like to live in a world where you're poorly represented.
And they don't have to. That's the thing.
Right. They don't have to live in that world.
They don't have to entertain what you're talking about.
Right.
That's what
so you can't really argue with those people because they just don't understand it from your perspective. But I know as a kid or a black kid growing up that it was so awesome for me to see a superhero character like Static Shock on TV, even.
Yeah.
That goes a long way for, kids who are not represented. Because it's good to be able to relate to characters that you see on TV and that you want to be like, you aspire to be like. Right. And like I said, a lot of people who are upset about that don't know what it's like to have to be that way, to have to to understand that. So I tend to try not get to argue with them. I try to let them understand because like even my wife is part Caucasian, part Japanese. A lot of stuff she's starting to see being married to me that she never saw before. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. You gotta, if you're not experiencing it, you don't really understand it. I just try to help people understand without being argumentative.
Right. Live, John, who wanted to tackle this?
Let's flip the script now, right? So you see how they had that Mafia dude on the new Mafia 3, right? You see how everybody's in the uproar about that now.
He black? Yeah, he black?
Yeah.
Okay.
Half black or mixed, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's in the uproar about that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Everybody's in the uproar about it, but so here we got one. Oh, hold on. Sorry, somebody text me. We got one black guy in the Mafia thing. They can act like we didn't. They did, for some reason, I guess they think we didn't exist then or something. But, but no, we just made all the Mafia their money. But we didn't exist though.
I could take this farther with it. Like let's look at the. Well, let Live say. Live say. Share your point.
Well, I don't have a problem with the character being being white, but I'm pretty sure there's some character modifications to where you can make the character whatever color you want the character to be, since it has multiplayer with it. I'm pretty sure of that. And I want to say this. I was looking at this television show called Tut. And it's a new series that comes on Sci-Fi, and I was saying to myself, I was like, man, why don't they have any black people on here every time when you look at a show like that, because we help build the pyramids,
that's exactly where I was just gonna go. Your thought.
We help build the pyramids. Why don't they have any black characters on here or black people on here? Well, lo and behold, I stuck my foot in my mouth and bam, there it was, a whole race of black people, you know, was on there, and I was shocked. I was real shocked. I was like, wow, you know, they really actually have, you know, our race, you know, on here, you know, and it just shocked me. It just shocked me for a show to represent, you know, the truth about, you know, about Egyptians and about us, you know, on a primetime television show.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up because it's interesting. There's two ways and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because, like I said, people get real sensitive when you're talking about race and colors, you know, and all that. But it's something that needs to be talked about. But it's alarming that the Japanese game developers will make a game featuring a white person all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even put their own race in the game. It's always a white person. So that's one thing you look at. But I can go outside of this. Like, when you look at the movie Fantastic Four, they changed those dude to a black character, and how that was an uproar. But when you look at, like Live was just saying, when you look at a movie like Exodus or Noah, you don't even see Noah, you don't even see a black person in the movie. Exodus, you in the Egyptian pyramids. We all know the truth that these people were, if we want to at least go to the truth of, they were brown-skinned people. If you don't have to say they were Africans, even though some of the dynasty were of African descent. Yeah. But, you know, we know that they were brown. Yeah, we
have no noses.
Negroid, yeah.
Shot the noses off because they didn't want people to know that it was
Napoleon. Yeah. So, well, they say it was Napoleon, but I don't know how factual that is. But we do know that they shot the noses off. But we know that them races were of color. Now, we won't say African, but we say color. So they was brown to at least me and Mr. T color. You know what I'm saying? Or live color. So, but at the same time, when I say this and I leave it alone, I let somebody jump in. We go to the next question. Mr. T, is a good question. And I used to manage Blockbuster, and I remember when the movie Prince of Egypt came out. Steven Spielberg made it, and he made it actual to the people of that region, the actual color that would have been there at that time. And I remember reading a magazine on the movie where a lot of our Caucasian mothers were upset because their children was asking why was Moses black and why was the Pharaoh black. They didn't want to have to answer those questions. They were upset and wanted to know why Steven Spielberg chose to go with the indigenous folks of that area. And he said because that's what they actually look like. And it was a big to-do. So, and then when you see movies like Avatar, when you know that the character is actually of Asian descent.
The Last Airbender, you mean?
I mean, The Last Airbender, which was Avatar and Nickelodeon.
Right.
But they change him to a Caucasian boy and make all the bad people colored people. So this opens a whole bunch
Dragon Ball Z.
You know yeah, Dragon Ball Z. They made Goku white. You know, so this is an issue that Terminator Jews, a lot of folks don't want to tackle or touch. And thank you for the question, but you're not going to get my channel burnt down. I'm trying to tackle it.
No,
so go ahead.
Look at the anime. The Japanese anime. The characters that are supposed to be Japanese, they don't look like they're Japanese.
Right. That's what I was. Yeah, you're right. That's my point.
Eye color, hair color, all that stuff.
So I don't want to. You know, what I'm saying we could have a podcast strictly dedicated to something like that, because that's kind of what I want to do, and I've been talking to John and Live about it, kind of getting away from just talking about games all the time. Go ahead, John.
I think we have to lower our expectations a little bit because they're not going to represent us right. Even if they do represent us right, we're going to fit some kind of stereotype.
It's not always a racial thing. It's financial too. Like if most of the people buying your games are white, then you're going to cater to them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But I also feel like there needs to be more of us in game development, and then when we start seeing more of
Right.
us, then more of us will be represented in
Right.
in the games and stuff like that.
Okay, you're right.
It's like same way with females. You know what I'm saying? The females is mad right now because they feel like they're not being represented right. Well, my thing is like the females that are in the game, you don't. I mean, the females that are out there, you talk crap about. You know what I'm saying? Then the females that are developing the games, you don't pay them no attention.
Yeah.
But also, if you want more females to be represented right, you gotta have more females in the development industry. And
Right.
development
You gotta
and stuff
support
like
There's
each
a
other.
lot of, there's so many games you can point to that got a female protagonist. So I mean, you know,
Tomb
they
Raider.
play ain't as bad as.
No, it's not because they'll nitpick.
But anyway, let's move on, man, because we got a few more questions. I don't want to harp on that too long. But Terminator Juice, real talk, good question, bro. That was as good as the one last week with the religion question. That was a pretty good one too. That was from Keith Norris as well. This is Shadow Hero 43. It's a two-part question. What did you like about Quantum Break gameplay? And second, what did you like about Scalebound gameplay, which we kind of dealt with. Go ahead, whoever want to tackle that real quick. Live, go ahead, hit that live, or Mr. T.
I was gonna say we pretty much kind of answered that, didn't we?
Yeah, we answered that one earlier. Yeah, I mean, if you've been listening to the podcast Shadow Hero, we pretty much answered that. But just real quick, as far as Quantum Break, you know, the ability to stop time, and you know, I'm always a sucker for a third-person shooter style game. I just like that type of stuff. And Scalebound, just the fact that you got the dragons and the big, you can use the way that they're interchanging. You working with this big dragon. I don't know how that's gonna work. And right now it's really, not looking as good as we thought. But it is Platinum Games, so we hold out hope. So anyway, let's move on, man. Keith Norris asks, is Nintendo really stuck in the past? John, you're going to hit that first, and then Ms. T, you can go after that.
What did you say?
Is Nintendo really stuck in the past? That's his question.
I don't know if they're stuck in the. I don't know. They stuck on something. Because I don't know. It's like they have all the tools to take over and be more dominant than what they are, but it's like they just don't use it. And then it's like I don't know stuff that they. I don't know. Maybe they out of touch because like the stuff that we feel is important, they don't feel is important.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Ms. T, go ahead.
I mean, I think it's kind of a loaded question because what do you mean specifically about second opinion? I think in some ways they are, and I would say in some of those ways that's not necessarily a bad thing. But what John was just saying, I think, but I do think that they are at least acknowledging that now with the DNA acquisition and some of the moves they seem to be making behind the scenes. I think they are realizing that they can't just continue doing it, their way. And yeah.
Live.
I think Nintendo is stuck in the West, and what I mean by the West, they're stuck in Japan. They're stuck in their ways. To a certain point.
That would be the East.
Well, the East. My bad. Nintendo is, they're stuck in their ways, which, I don't blame them when you've been pretty much successful like Nintendo has. I mean, a lot of people is like throwing Nintendo to the wayside, like Nintendo's been garbage for the last like 10 years or something like that. Now you got to just remember, now Nintendo was on top with the Wii. This ain't nothing been a couple of years ago now. So they might have made a bad decision with the Wii U. I think everybody knows that, they made a bad decision, and they are stubborn. If Japan, they are very stubborn.
Right.
It's hard for me to complain about my Nintendo and my Wii U and Nintendo and their ways because the other guys, they do their thing and Nintendo does their thing. If you want, buy another console. If you need the third-party games, because I've always had more than one console, so it's not a big thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want that stuff, I'll buy that console for that, and I'm always gonna buy a Nintendo console for Nintendo games.
Okay.
So that's how.
I would say that they more. I don't think they're stuck in the past, but they are stuck in their ways. You know,
Yeah.
Nintendo ain't warming up to the more modern approach to a game, and the way that they got their formula, and their formula hasn't, in their opinion, failed them. You know, it might not have yield the results that they want, but it definitely hasn't failed them. But I would say they starting to warm up to an extent. I think Nintendo's other problem is like Live said, they stuck in the East. Unlike Sony, Nintendo, to me, this is my opinion, Nintendo doesn't spend enough time learning about all the different markets that they cater to. You know, they don't. That's what I would say. They need to spend more time really learning the markets that they cater to and what succeeds and what fails in those markets, that they can better service those markets. That's why I leave it at that.
I would say that's the way they're stuck in their ways.
Yeah, that's what I mean by stuck. Yeah,
because they had this everybody approach,
right.
And it's worked for them for a few console generations. But the markets are a lot more different than they used to be. Where Japanese games aren't the ain't the go-to, right? And so they're gonna have to adjust to that, I think.
Okay. So let's move on. Unless somebody got something else they want to say on that question, we got 4 more. So because we pushing 3 hours, bro. I'm trying to get this on out the way. Scotty Reddick, I think that's how you say that. Scotty Reddick says, "Do you have the feeling that the NX will be the console that changes Nintendo's kitty image?" Live. Answer that one.
Nope.
Nope. I set you up for a good one. All right. Why not? You don't think so?
I don't think so, because Nintendo is not going to change. Even though, with a Waters passing, and everything like that, Nintendo already has, what would you say, a stereotype, on them, a kiddie console, and with the NX coming out, it's still not going to change, that perception of, oh, well, Nintendo is just a kiddie console because of Mario. That's just all to it, because of Mario, and everybody thinks, well, why do you still play that kiddie game, and stuff like that. But I catch you, at GameStop or at Walmart playing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. John?
I feel they have the opportunity to do something different, but that's just, I don't know. This is just a public opinion on what the public decides they want to feel. So, okay. I never thought about it as kiddie.
Okay, I got
you.
I don't. I feel you on that.
I never thought about it as kiddie. So I was like, I just feel like they cater to. They don't do enough to
cater to more of the adult gamer of today, what considered adult gamers.
I think they do too much trying to protect the kids than what they should be doing. They need to leave it to the parents to do that instead of just taking it away from everybody.
Okay, I got you. Mr. T?
Yeah, I don't really, because Nintendo makes Nintendo games, so they're good at what they do. I don't know what they can do because I'm looking at the Wii U, and Wii U doesn't feel like, or you can't. I don't feel like you can throw the Wii U in the kiddie console thing, because I don't even let my kid touch my Wii U because of the gamepad.
I'm glad you said. I felt like I was wrong. I don't let my kid. I'll be like, man, you can touch that Xbox the Xbox One, but don't touch that gamepad.
And the games on it, like I don't feel like they're, there's always going to be a contingency of people who feel like Nintendo's kiddie just because it's Nintendo. So.
Right. I would say, yeah, they got the potential. I don't know if this will. I can't say this will be the system that changes the kiddie image or the perception that Nintendo is kiddie. but I feel like it can be. With Nintendo approach it right, but Nintendo gotta directly tackle that whole prism about the Nintendo. You know, that whole perception that Nintendo is as a kids company. That ain't even with the systems. That's just the company in general. It's like it's looked at like Toys R Us. You know, it's looked like the Mickey Mouse Club to the pub. So Nintendo had to deal with that in a more direct way than just the system. You know, it had to change its whole what it chooses to put out as it, you know, not necessarily Mario, because Mario transcends kiddie and everything. Mario is iconic, but Nintendo had to work on its public perception with the way that they advertise, the way that they structure their commercials, and everything had to change to really change that. So no, I don't know if the NX will change that, but it can help. It can soften and make it more appealing to those who think that. Though I think that. But let's keep moving. There's another one from Scotty. Microsoft announced that they are putting an end to buying exclusives and instead focusing on are focusing on first-party titles. Is this them realizing that third-party were the ones in control? That's so yeah. So let me say that again. Did y'all understand the question?
Yeah, I understood it. Yeah,
Okay.
I
All
think,
right. Go ahead, John.
I think they finally understanding that that's what people want more from them is first party. You know, that's if you want to say if anybody lacked first party, it would be Xbox. You know, they survived. They survived basically the last few years off of Halo, Gears, and Forza. That's only 3 IPs. You know what I'm saying? The rest of it was they survived off of Call of Duty and third party games. And like timed exclusives and time DLC and stuff like that. Now I think going into the future now with they building this momentum, I think they feel like we're going to focus on bringing more first parties to the lineup, and that way they can say they got it all.
Okay. All right. Live.
Finally, Microsoft has seen the light. It's not all about spending money on third-party content. It's about making games for your system and using that money on first-party development. Woo-wee.
Okay. Mr. T?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like they finally realized that they can't sustain themselves with all these third-party exclusive deals, and they have to focus on the games that'll make them more money, which is first-party games. I mean, that's just simple mathematics. I do find it kind of funny that their first retail exclusive this year is a collection of old games being rare replay. That's kind of sad. Nobody's really talking about that, but it's August. It's August, by the way. It's August, and that's their first exclusive. So
I would say I think Microsoft saw that these third parties are not loyal.
Yeah.
Like Microsoft spent a lot of money and made these companies a whole lot of money. And soon as Sony seemingly got out front, they kind of, you want to be honest, was helping throw Microsoft under the bus with the whole, you know what I'm saying, resolution gate and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Deal.
I think Microsoft was like, you know what? What's the point of me spending money with all you guys when y'all ain't loyal to us? Well, I can spend that money on my own games.
Yeah.
I don't need y'all to make no games for me. And I think that's what I think they looking at it, and I'm gonna be honest, I think they're looking at Nintendo like, shoot, Nintendo been sustaining all this time, they ain't got y'all games, so what's the point of me? They got all these games to self-sustain. They might not be as successful, but they making more money than both of us at doing this because of I like what Triforce Johnson always say, remove all the other stuff and just stand on the games alone, Sony and Microsoft would have been gone. So I think Microsoft understand that they need to match. I think Nintendo is they inspiration. I'm be honest. I think they're looking at all the games that Nintendo come with and sustaining it, even though they know that they're being ostracized and kind of intentionally cut off from third party, and they still manage to sustain themselves in light of that. So I think Microsoft's like, look, that's a winning formula that we might need to entertain more first party and letting third parties have Sony. Let Sony keep paying for it, because that's basically what he said.
That's the thing, though. The next 5 years are going to be interesting because Microsoft is saying, no, we ain't going to keep doing that third-party stuff that we've been doing, so you ain't getting our money. Nintendo had never done it. And then you have Sony, who can't do it anymore.
Right.
So it's going to get interesting to see what these third parties are going to do.
Right. So anybody ever want to... Oh, you was done, Mr. T?
Yeah, I was done.
Oh, okay. John, live, y'all want to jump on that before we move to these last two?
No, that's it.
John?
I'm good.
Okay, all right. Scotty, last question is, where can the DS go from here? I like this question. You know what I'm saying? It kind of struck when I read it. I was like, wow, that's a good question. Where can the DS go from here without going the hybrid console route? Live, go ahead.
Oh, man.
It's making this podcast long, boy.
It's right here. I mean, like I said last time about this, I think, with the 3DS and with and the mobile gaming, situation, I think if they had a more unified system, with the 3DS, I think it would make it a whole lot better.
But that's what he said. He said without going the hybrid route.
Yeah,
without making it a hybrid. You can't, so.
I said unified system. I didn't say, where you could take, your 3DS and hook it up to the television. I didn't say that.
Okay, I got you.
But, I'm just saying, make it a more unified system to where if I do buy a game, on my Wii U, I can play it, on my 3DS. That would be, I think, something, that's better, and, have a achievement system, with the 3DS, I just make it a all around better experience on the go.
Okay. Mr. T.
Yeah, I think the DS is the first quote-unquote gimmick handheld from Nintendo, basically having another screen, second screen experience, or whatever you want to call it. Before that, it was Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, original Game Boy. So it was just the screen and the controls. And they can go back to that. They can go back. They can even call it the Game Boy, Game Boy something. They don't have to continue with the DS line, because I don't think they're... you need the you don't need the 3D, going forward. It was another cool quote unquote gimmick. I don't think they're going to continue that. So I don't know if they'll continue even the dual screen. They might not continue using that as part of the system, and that would be fine. I don't see people getting up in arms or anything about it. They can just offer an awesome handheld with the awesome handheld games, like they've always done. So.
Okay. John?
Oh, for me, all they got to do is come out with a little bit better graphics and put a real analog stick on there. And, not that little nub thing. But put a real analog stick on there. That's all I need.
And that nub is pretty good, though.
Okay. I was saying I made a video on this a while back. Go through my history. I think the only place that Nintendo can go that would seemingly be looking forward would go ahead and make a tablet and have it to where some kind of way it has traditional controls on it some kind of way. But like to make a full-fledged tablet with with DNA making games for you and all that, the one-stop place for the hand on the go handheld experience where you can get the traditional style of games and you can get the mobile style games all in one spot. That's what I think they need to, because I watch how my daughter and my son, when I bought them tablets over the Christmas before they broke both of them, and
oh man,
yeah, I brought them tablets, man. That 3DS went to the side, and it had been to the side for a while. That tablet never loses interest with my daughter. And when she broke her tablet, she on our phones doing the same thing she was doing on the tablet, watching YouTube and playing them little games. And my son, he want to watch YouTube and play those games even more so than the 3DS games. And he got a lot of games on that 3DS, but he'd rather be on his tablet. So I think if Nintendo made a tablet for their next venture in the handheld and some kind of way uniformed it to be able to play traditional style games, I think that'll work. But or like what Mr. T said, you guys had to go back to a simplistic screen with controllers. Remember with analog sticks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With better graphics. I mean, that's all you can really do, and that's pretty much a tablet. You know what I'm saying? So
they got tablets that have you can slide them into a traditional
right.
controller thing.
That's what I'm saying, like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking they need to do, man. Give you all that functionality, kill two birds with one stone, man. You know, so basically the gamepad just smaller. You can surf the internet, you can do all that, and still get that traditional gaming experience and the mobile gaming experience. So, I hope that answered your question. Is anybody else got anything they want to add to that?
No.
All right, let's move on to this last one. Poppy 2K, is that how you say that?
Yeah, Poppy 2K.
Poppy 2K says, what do you think about the Xenoblade North America announcement? I don't even know what this announcement is, so if y'all know what the announcement is.
The bundle. He's talking about the bundle.
Oh, the bundle.
Yeah, we're getting the bundle too.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Okay.
There you go, John.
John.
Or live. There you go. You get a bundle with the Xenoblade.
Live or John, y'all what y'all think about this? You know, big deal, no big deal, what?
I'm still trying to figure out what type of game the Xenoblade is. Is it action RPG?
That I see. If it's not, that's what scared me when I saw it. It's like, I don't know if this is actually action RPG. This is almost like a real full-fledged RPG.
It's somewhere in the middle. You don't have full control. It's not really turn-based. It's kind of like
menu system,
pre-based. Well, you do attacks, but you set them up. You can move around and all that stuff in real time. You're not stuck or any of that. It's not turn-based, but your attacks are almost they're not
scripted,
completely real time.
Yeah, they kind of got a scriptness to them. You still picking them, but you. Yeah, it was weird, man. It kind of turned me off.
Just killed another game for me.
Oh man, come on.
I'm not gonna lie to the team. It turned me off. Like I was thinking, it was like what we just saw with Scalebound, where you in an RPG, but it's a live, you know, one to one. If I swing my sword, he's swinging his sword. It was something about that game, like that ain't how that game play, and I'm like,
it's an automatic thing. Like you do your move, or you use your you see the little system at the bottom of it. I think you'll like it. I think you guys will like it. You got to broaden your horizons, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try, but I ain't gonna lie.
I'm sorry, Elder Scrolls didn't spoil me. I can't do it. I can't.
So that's basically it, man. Live, did you have anything you want to say on that?
Nah.
Okay. Well, guys, this was another long one. We thank Mr. T for showing up. Like I said, if you want to be on our a candidate for one of our first showdown, one-on-one with John Shaw, leave your hit us up on Google Plus or something like that. Find us on Google Plus or and hit us up, and we try to set one up if you qualify, because we will do background checks, at least try to, and see what type of person you are before we bring you on here. You ain't gonna be flim-flamming up live and level. So with that being said, Mr. T, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Pretty much what I always say, and that's play Nintendo, fools.
Okay. We thank you for coming on, man. We enjoyed you, man. I always enjoy you coming through. John Shaw.
Sayonara.
My boy, Mr. Live, El Lazare.
Make sure y'all pick up that Dr. Dre today. it hits iTunes. Matter of fact, it might be on there now.
Yeah, it's on there now. I'm about to go listen to it. All right, and this is your boy Level, man. This is Live and Level Gamers Podcast. Until next time, deuces.